Welcome, one and all, to another installment of Thursday Night THRS Deep Cuts. I'm Andrew.
I'm Brendan.
I'm Dave.
Tim.
Good to see that Brendan's already got the fidgety item in his hand he's going to drop later on.
I always have something.
You got to have something in your hands, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here to do another episode. Obviously, we're going to have some fun with this tonight. We're going to talk about the latest from Gus G and Eclipse, as well as go back in time to revisit an old one from AC/DC for the Thursday night special. Make sure you're following us. So like, subscribe, comment, share, all those things. Get involved in the conversation tonight. Just say hi, anything and everything. Ask questions as we go along. But yeah, to follow us and all that sort of stuff, follow the links in the description or the post wherever you're tuning into this one from. And a big thank you, of course, to our fantastic sponsors in Squid and Screen Printing, Old Cult and Rockstar Finance. Their details, just like ours, are in the description or the post of this. So follow links, give them a follow, show them some love as well for what they do to help us here at the show. We'll get into a whole lot of stuff here very soon, not just the reviews. We've got some singles from Nat Allison, Epica, and Wolf and Chan to talk about, and a few other bits and pieces that have been going on. A bit of a chat about the quote-unquote vaxxed economy coming up very shortly when it comes to live music, and I'm sure that'll go wherever the fuck it's going to go. I don't know what's going to happen with that conversation, but we'll see how we go with it. But yeah, before we get stuck in all the usual good stuff, let's do the rounds. How you going, Brendan?
Oh, battling on like everyone else. Growing increasingly impatient as every day goes by. I think we were talking about it last time. It's sort of when you're on a marathon, so it's the last couple of Ks are the hardest, and it certainly feels like that right now. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
Well, we are marathon veterans here.
This is true.
Yeah, the numbers today didn't help much. That was a bit of a kick in the guts, but the government have held the line, so we're going to open up soon. So, fuck, we'll see what happens.
It's kind of funny though when the numbers came out. I was actually at Red Cross blood donation thing, and it was kind of everyone kind of looked at each other and giggled, including the nurses. It was a bit odd. Just sort of like, well, fuck it, what can we do? I was just assuming everyone in the room was vaccinated, just sort of looking at each other going, oh well.
Yeah, there's it is what it is now.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
And it was an odd reaction.
Especially in the medical profession, that's a bit of a
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose they're more hard than we are, honestly. They see more shit than we'll ever see, so.
Have you ever met a nurse outside of a hospital that wasn't completely insane, though? Because I haven't. They're all nuts.
That is probably the truest statement that we made tonight.
Yeah. All nuts. In a wonderful way. I love them to bits. I love them at work and out of work, but they're all a little bit fucking nuts. It's great.
Strangest segue over to a strange conversation I've had with a doctor or nurse or whatever else. I was outside seeing, I forget who now. I've had a number of trips to the hospital, seeing people and friends and family over the years. But I was outside and we're out in the smoking area when I used to smoke, and everyone was having a dart. And then nurses have come down and you do the small talk. They're having a smoke, we're having a smoke. And so, where do you work? And they say the oncology ward. I've gone, fucking what? Yeah. you work in the oncology ward and you're smoking. And they've gone, so long as it's not skin cancer. Doesn't matter. That's the one you don't want. The rest is you can deal with it, but skin cancer is the one that'll really be horrible to go at. So the whole slip, stop, slap, that's the one. But that was a quirky one from many, many years ago. But yeah, my sister and her partner are both in the medical industry, so I've got to be respectfully say that yes, they're crazy, but I love the bits. So there we go. Yeah. I'll put it that way.
It's a good kind of crazy. It's definitely a good kind of crazy.
And the crazy are the paramedics.
Yes. Yes.
Them too, they're nuts. And they've got the worst stories.
Yeah.
The paramedics are the drummers of like the medical profession. They're like, because you got to be nuts to do it.
So you feel like they're your kindred spirits there, Tim?
Well, possibly. I mean, I knew a paramedic years ago, and he was insane. Like he was. I have no idea how he had that job.
The stories I can tell. My sister is an ambo driver, so it's there's some stories in there that you come across over the years. So make of that what you will. And her partner is an actual emergency nurse. So there you go. I see it all. So that's why I say they're nuts, but I love them very much. And Lee McDonald, a great supporter of ours too, works in the industry too. So a big shout out to you for all the work you do. A big thank you to them all, by the way. It's what we're talking about this, waffling on being idiots, but a big thank you because without them, we'd all be fucked, to put it bluntly. So, all right, Dave, how about you? How you going?
Yeah, I can't complain. Weeks turn into months and so forth, but yeah, same as always. Listening to music, watching movies, playing with the kids. Worked a couple of days this week, so that was different.
Okay. Cool.
It's all opening up. Think about Halloween and Christmas, so weather's getting nicer. I can't complain. I just chug along. It's all
fucking
good.
pissing down here now.
Really?
Yeah.
Apparently we're getting like a month's worth of rain in 4 days, and it hasn't really hit yet, so it's all going to come at once. So tonight could be interesting. We could get a massive storm outside.
Sydney got tornado warnings today. So for anyone up there that's watching tonight, fucking
freedom.
That must be insane.
I think there was a tornado in Stawell today.
Really? I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah, I saw somewhere in country Victoria. I think it was around Stawell.
Right. Okay.
Earthquake.
We had
Plague.
What was that?
I still would have been in the beer garden.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm in.
Oh, fuck. What about you, Tim? You're still in isolation, but it's nearly done, isn't it?
Yeah, I have, 3 hours and 13 minutes to go.
Just go out. Rebel.
Well, I would love to, but I mean, curfew starts in a few minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
So really, I'm technically in until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Fair enough. It's a good thing you can't do much until between now and then anyway, so we'll keep you entertained here,
I
I'm
know.
sure.
If this had happened while everything was open, it would have sucked. But, I mean, everything's closed, so it doesn't really make a difference.
That's all right, then. I guess you take the small wins where you can.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Anything else from anyone else? Yeah, I'm good. Not a lot to complain about, to be honest. Like, I've had a couple of days of work this week. It's funny how this lockdown has, I don't know about you, Brendan, because you run your own thing, but for Dave and myself, it's been quieter this time around than it has been on previous lockdowns, which I found a bit confusing. But besides that, everything's good. I'm keeping myself really fucking busy doing stuff for the show, which is great. And yeah, organising stuff for Halloween and Jodie's birthday coming off the weekend too. So between Jodie's birthday, one of our kids' birthdays like a week later, and then Halloween after that, it's all a bit of a silly season. On top of one of the other kids had a birthday a couple of weeks ago. So this sort of period of time from sort of September through to December, end of the year, it's just nuts for me. So it's like, I'm busy enough, even if I'm not working, to make the time fly. Although I do get the whole, like, yeah, when I saw the numbers today, I was like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. At this point in time, it's just like, okay, all bets are off anyway. We all know that's coming. But beyond that, it's just that whole, you're just so immune to it now, I think. And it's just like, okay, fuck, just keep ticking off the days one by one, and away we go. But, hey, there we go. Oh, okay. I'll get some comments in a second. But, yeah, everything's good. Can't complain ultimately. Like, yeah, we're having some fun. We get to do these things, which we wouldn't have found without these lockdowns anyway. So it's all good regardless. You got to find the positives wherever you can. So life is good overall. Our good friend Sumalith over on YouTube and follows us on Twitter as well. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining us, giving us the horns. Sally, our good friend, a good regular also. Sally, good to see you here. Dean's jumped in saying, hey, lads, looking forward to this. There's a few here I know you're definitely keen on. And Nudes as well. Hi, Banger. So good to see you here again, mate. Hope you're keeping well over there. Jeff, our good friend Jeff on YouTube again. Hi, lads. Hope all are well. We're doing good. Good to see you here with us tonight. And then, yeah, Dean's going into Who Made Who and Eclipse and being very excited. Sammy's joined us. Hi, Sammy G. Banger. Hey, guys. So good to see you. Thank you for joining us once again. And Beck has jumped in. So good to see you here as well again. Good to see the regulars jumping back in. So the pelting rain and horizontal lightning, and I'm trying to listen out in the garage with very little soundproofing. Good luck with that. Reminds me of the old days in the studio when we used to rain and try and film. Remember that, Dave? Try and film when it was raining in the studio? That was fucking... That was fucked. And then Beck says, my boy is 13 on the 25th. Laugh out loud. Jesus, okay. Youngins for me. My kid's a bit older than that. And Beck's also gone, don't talk over. My son lost his dad a month ago. Shit. That's sad. So genuine condolences there all around. That's not the sort of thing you want to hear about. So all joking aside, it is serious. So do what you need to do to get out of it. But all right, let's move on to the fun stuff. Let's get into the conversations we're actually here to talk about and not be overly Negative. Tonight, let's have some fun. Let's start off with our first bit of hard rock happenings tonight, which is the latest single from local artist Nat Allison. Now, we had her on the show a number of years ago now. She's a great woman, really talented artist as well, does a lot of great things, not only solo, but also with the people she works with. So she's a great person out there in the scene in general. But her latest single, We Are the Heroes, is in the comments now. It's also in the description of this post. So wherever you're tuning in from, check it out there, either in the description of the post or in the comments now as we go along. But Nat Allison, We Are the Heroes is the track we're talking about right now. I'll get to your question in a moment, Sally. We'll get to this one first. So, Dave, how did you go with this one? What do you think of it?
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't get a chance to listen to it once before we did the taping. But yeah, I've heard it once and I've still got the chorus stuck in my head. It's really catchy. It's a good listen, great song. And yeah, if you haven't heard it, give it a listen. But yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, cool. I know that Brendan hasn't heard it yet, so we'll bypass him. He can sit there looking pretty in the corner for a minute.
I have seen her play live. She's played at the Globe. It was the first time I saw her. She's doing a covers gig.
Okay.
She's bloody amazing. So I will check it out. I promise you.
Yeah. Definitely talented, lovely person to boot, so no complaints all around. But Tim, how'd you go with the song?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it was sort of it was a bit of a classic rock track in a sort of modern rock setting. It was a really great hooks in it as well. It was a really great track.
Yeah. It's very much the catchy pop hook is really good in the chorus. I found that to be a definite sort of in moment for it, with a nice little riff that goes with it too. It's not like it's all pop. It's still based in rock for sure. I've got a great riff, but it's one of those ones that has a few little layers in there too, with the choir and the synth touches in it as well. And it's one of those songs that's perfect for radio. And this could be any radio station. Any of them could pick it up and play this one and get away with it quite comfortably. I say that Beck's gone here. It's very catchy and uplifting. A song, an anthem for the times, and that's what I felt as well when it's with the lyrics going through it in today's climate. I think that song really does stand out as one that's good to check out and probably makes you feel a bit better about the day than you might have felt before, which is what we kind of all really sort of need here and there as well. So it's a good track. I highly recommend it. That she is trying to push this one to get some charts and Spotify playlists and all sorts of stuff. So if there's anything you want to do, like add it to your YouTube or Spotify playlists or anything else like we've done as well, get onto it, give it a share. You know what not to do. Share the love around and get it on to as many people's ears as you possibly can. It's a great song, and she's a great person on top of that to boot. Quickly here, Sally's gone. Does anyone have any plans set as to what they're going to do when they're released? Brendan's going to the pub ASAP. She got that much. So any plans? Does anyone have any plans for release? So Brendan, you go first. You're itching. I know that.
Well, timings. It's not like we can go away on holiday or anything because, in my business, summer's where it's at. So it really just will be just the pubs and restaurants, just not having to give a shit, you know. I mean, live music, of course, being able to go into the city. I just sort of miss the vibe of walking around town. And, I don't know. It's just that whole. I feel it's just. We've talked about it last week. I think it's the last 2 years where you haven't made new memories, kind of thing. It's just like everything's been going on. So I'm looking forward to just going out and just feeling a bit inspired again. So
cool. Tim, you're nearly well. You got like two windows here. You got like the end of your isolation, and then you've got lockdown. So what's your mindset like?
Yeah, pubs and strippers. No, look, seriously, the day the pubs reopen is my youngest sister's 18th birthday.
Nice.
So, yeah, we go to the pub.
So, tell me one thing. Are you going to make her buy drinks? You got to make her do that.
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, you got to, man.
Well, okay, hold on. She's going to want to buy drinks. Of course she is. That's what you do when you're 18.
Yeah, but the point here, you've got to make her. You give her the money. But she's got to go to the bar and get the drinks. Like that's.
Of course, I did that for the other sister as well. I've been doing it for this one as well. That's what you do when you're 18. But yes, no, it's her birthday. Of course, I'm shouting her. But yes, she's going to go to the bar and order a drink.
Beautiful. Did that for my brother. My brother's 11 years younger than me. So Greg, if you're watching, howdy. Yeah, the first time we went to the pub with him was a fucking trip and a half because we got him to buy drinks for us. Like, we got money, but we went and bought the round and it was like this is so weird. It's a fair age gap. And so I was like, ooh, okay, that's a bit of a, if you want to feel old in 30 seconds flat, that'll do it pretty quick. But yeah, that's that. Anything else there, Tim, or is that the extent of your plans right now?
Well, we're not going to travel or anything. So I think, organizing travel at this stage is still a, risky proposition. So put your money into your locals.
Yep. Cool. What about you, Dave?
Yeah, probably first thing would be see some of Julia's family who she hasn't seen for a while. And catch up with some friends who are fully vaccinated. I'm still going to be very cautious until I can get my kids vaccinated. So I won't be gallivanting all around town too soon, just to be extra cautious. It's just me. Yep. But yeah, it will be nice to just be able to not have to consider how often you're leaving the house each day and go to work each day. So yeah, overall, not much is going to change for me.
Okay. No, that's all good. And each to their own in this argument. So there's no right or wrong, I don't think, at all. Everyone's got to do what's right for them. I think for us here, for Jody, myself, and Zach, it'll be great to see our two girls more often because they don't live with us. They've done their own thing. They've grown up, so they do their own thing now. But we'd like to get out and see them. We used to meet up every couple of weeks to go and have dinner and stuff together. We haven't seen much of them in the last 1.5 to 2 years. So we'd like to start making that a regular thing. I think that's first and foremost. See my immediate family as well that are in the state because most of Jody's family are out of the state. So seeing family that I haven't seen for a while is the first thing. The music that I'm keen to get back to, but the seeing the people that are nearest and dearest are the ones that that's what I'm most keen and what I'm most looking forward to is, not rock and roll as that is, but that's just where my mind and my heart is at these days. Got to go and see the people I care about the most first and foremost, and then we'll deal with the rest after that as life goes on. On the single
amazing how kids change your perspective on what to do.
Yes, definitely. There's no beer and strippers for me, mate. I'll tell you that right now. When I reckon the tipping point, and Dave might agree, is that when you know that someone's depending on you more than you depend on yourself, that changes shit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Which is the thing that I'm scared most of.
What was that? University, mate. So don't sell it short, all right?
What was that?
So I put a lot of strippers through university, so don't, you're underselling my contribution to society.
Hey, I am not knocking it at all. It's a hell of a fun time. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a case of that it's not for me in this day and age. I've been there and had some fun. It's all good. But yeah, no, that was a different time, unfortunately, or not. Take your pick. But I'd be careful because Joe's probably watching anyway. But here we go. Hi, babe. But yeah, anyway, on to the single while we get out of this one. Beck's gone. Very catchy, uplifting, and anthem for the times, which is what I said before. It was very, very cool. And where are we going here? So Beck's gone, yes, for radio. Dean said Triple M should flog this song, but they won't. Yes, we all know that. I mean, that's literally flogging a dead horse, that argument these days. Sally's gone, it's cool. I like Nat a lot. Easy music. You just want to zone into your task you're doing. That's true as well. It's one of those ones where it doesn't take a lot of your focus. It's just really good and entertaining. Beck's gone, I'm going to celebrate by turning 50, so happy birthday to you in advance.
Happy birthday.
And Dean's gone, definitely going to the pub when released and back to gigs when they're announced in small pubs. Definitely keen to get back to gigs. That's definitely on the horizon. Just be a bit, bit further out for me. Jeff's gone.
I cannot wait to do, actually. Get in a room and actually make some noise with a band.
Yeah,
even like it doesn't have to be a gig, right?
Yeah.
But you can't replicate playing at home to playing real drums and real amps and a real PA system in a room with a group of people. You cannot replicate that at home.
Yeah, the thing I've missed, there was I don't know if anyone saw it. There was a Beatles preview thing released, I think today or very recently.
Yeah,
that looks amazing. I'm going to be tuning into that for sure. But when watching that, it made me miss the studio, if that makes sense. Like I know you guys play live and that, but for me, it was just I missed the studio in that. Watching that, I was like, fuck, you can have some the documentation, the capturing, everything, the offcuts that we get here behind the scenes, like just that whole the vibe in the studio is so different. when you got the chemistry right.
Yeah.
And I'm that I would love to get back to that in some capacity down the line if I can, but I don't know when that'll be. So it is what it is. Jeff says, thanking Brendan and Tim for recently adding me on certain social media sites. So there we go, making friends with each other, which is great. Nifty Neville has gone on YouTube, 500 positives, and it's a panic. 2,500, and it's what are you going to do? That's pretty much where it's at for all of us when it comes to the numbers earlier on today. That's literally all we can do, to be blunt.
Yep.
And Dean's also looking forward to the Beatles doco as well. I do apologize if I miss any comments, but I'm trying to keep us moving at a relative pace as we go through it. And so speaking of that, let's get on to the next one, which, Dave, I'm pretty sure you'd have been all over this before I even shared it to you. So we'll get on to this one anyway. It's a little band called Epica, which you may or may not have heard of, especially with Dave talking about them all the time. They've got a new video out for the Skeleton Key, which is a live track, which is coming from an upcoming pre-recorded live stream show, which is a lot of bands doing this sort of stuff. Acolyte did one recently as well. So there's a lot of this stuff going around. So Epica, the Skeleton Key, Omega Live. It's in the post. It's in the comments now. So check it out. Give us your thoughts as we go along. But Dave, we'll start with you. We have to start with you. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a fucking awesome album. When we reviewed this album back in March, I was pretty sure it was going to be my number one album for the year. But the year we've had probably dropped down a lot. But it's still an amazing album. Go back to it as much as I can. It's great to see it live because Epica are a very visual band. Just listening to them is one thing, but seeing what they do, it gives you a whole other perspective of what they're all about. And it was cool to see that acrobat and the spinning wheel in the back of this clip. That was a pretty cool, nice touch. I like that. But I knew they did the live stream a few months ago. It was just after Nightwish did their too. Yeah. And just seeing on some of the comments on social media, people were saying that the Epica one was better than the Nightwish one. I saw the Nightwish one, I didn't see the Epica one. But of course, that was an Epica page, so people were probably a bit more biased. But I love both bands, but I prefer Nightwish. But yeah, I'm hoping they release this whole show on DVD because it'd be good to see them perform this album live. They obviously can tour, so live streams are the next best thing. And the live streams I've seen in general are always done really well. So it'd be cool if some actually start getting released officially. But yeah, if you like Epica, well worth checking out. Even if you don't, check it out because it's fucking good.
Yep. What about you, Tim?
Yeah, I thought this was like a great release for a band like Epica because, like Dave said, the visual medium really suits their style of music because they can really tell a story with it, and they absolutely do. It's shot stunningly well. It's performed fantastically well. So this is a fantastic release for that band. And the song's great as well, really.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So, Brendan, I know you haven't seen this one, but you are aware of bands sort of live streaming shows and that. What are your thoughts on it in general, the live streaming or pre-recorded live stream shows where there's a bit of production value added to it? What do you think of it?
If it was Epica, I probably wouldn't have liked it. Look, it's adapt and overcome, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I mean, it's kind of been tried. I probably still have an Iron Maiden one they did years ago that was more in like a studio environment. They had this funny, illusionist doing fucking like horror magic off to the side.
Raising Hell video. The Raising Hell video.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that was the last one Dickinson did before he left, and at the end, Eddie kills him.
Yeah, that sounds fun. It's a long time ago. So I probably still got it on VHS somewhere.
Yeah, it's like 93, I think.
Yeah, it's I remember that was probably a bit crap, that show, to be honest with you, because it was a bit it was just a bit contrived. But like some of the stuff that they've been doing in a more modern sphere is bloody impressive. So I'm sure this Epica one is very good. I'm just not a massive fan.
Well, for me, I really enjoyed it. I actually find myself enjoying Simone's voice more in this setting than on the studio stuff for mine. She's more powerful in the live environment, and I wish they'd in that. With that being said, I wish they'd sort of replicate that in the studio a bit more instead of thinning her out a bit. But the visual stuff is great. The people in the background. There's a couple of clips of this one, not just this one. There's another one as well, and the the stuff that there's like pyro in the background and in the set and that, and you've got people doing some gymnastic kind of things and wheels and whatever else. There's a lot of visual stuff going on, and they're not the only ones doing it, but they do a very, very good job with what they're doing. And the performance is on. It's actually, I feel for the bands trying to replicate the energy of a live show when it comes to a room when there's no crowd in there. But at the same time, bands like Epica, Acolyte, the more progressive and interesting sort of bands in that regard seem to be more naturally sort of, I know it still work for them. It's not dismissing the effort, but I think they're more naturally suited to that because what they're doing artistically lends itself to filling the space a bit more in the room. It's you've got more there going on, I guess, cerebrally than you have in just, your 4/4 pub band kind of thing where it's got to be that. But yeah, I really enjoy what they've done with it. I think the performance is great. The song is great. And yeah, I think it's really worth checking out. And I'm keen to check out the rest of the performance if and when I can kind of thing. So yeah, definitely check it out if you are a fan of the band. But even if you're not, it's a good thing to check out as a general idea to see what's going on in this space. I think it's a thing a lot of bands could lean into more as time goes on. Even after all this shit's over and done with, it's a good way to get new content out and rehash some things and get more mileage out of stuff. So there we go. Bernadette's joined us tonight. So hi guys, good to see you here. Thank you for joining us tonight. Nifty Neville over on YouTube has jumped in to say also Dan Andrews owes me an Abbott tour. Awesome. I think we'd all be down for that. Very, very happy to see that if it comes across. So that'd be nice. Conrad O'Collins, a good friend of ours now, saying Epica a few times in Europe, never disappointing, which is great to see. Jeff says Epica is an amazing band, been a huge fan for over a decade, love the Skeleton Key. So there we go, more love for that one there. Bernadette's gone, keep on rocking. And Tough, our good friend Tough has jumped in to say Epica a cool g'day, by the way. So good to see you here. Thanks for joining us tonight. And just on a side note here, Brendan, Conrad says that you seem hard to impress. So Brendan, are you hard to impress, do you think?
Oh, no.
That was easy. All right. And Jeff's gone, I did Raising Hell pay-per-view live back when I was in Canada. Seems like it was a lifetime ago, 1994 for some of us. Now, the old lives, the pay-per-views back away were something else back then. But, yeah. Interesting one here from Darren, a good follower of ours as well. Darren jumped in and said, am I wrong to say that bands like Epica, Lacuna Coil, and Arch Enemy all sound the same? I would say they're three very different bands. Personally,
yeah.
What about you guys?
Yeah, Epica and fucking Arch Enemy, very different vocals to start with. One's more operatic and one's obviously more harsh. And musically, one stands more towards the classical side and the others is more towards the death metal side. And Lacuna Coil have a different take on the whole thing completely. They're more, I think, well, I'm not a massive fan of them, but what I've heard, they're more electronic based, more with triggers and samples in the middle sample.
Yeah, three very different songs. Tim, any thoughts on that?
I think Angela Gosso just cried.
Fair point.
Really? Angela Gosso sounds nothing like from Arch Enemy. Sounds nothing like the other two. And Christina's I really like Lacuna Coil as well, but I mean they're more of a alternative metal band, and then Epica are like a symphonic, classical, progressive band, and then Arch Enemy are just a death metal band.
Yep, I agree. Brendan, anything you want to add to that, or?
The three bands I don't really like, so maybe he's onto something.
All right. Go on, Tim.
No, when I first heard "Blood Is on Your Hands" by Arch Enemy, I nearly cried. So awesome.
And yet the you two are in a band together, which makes this even more fucking interesting as I'm sitting here as a spectator on the side.
Oh, yeah. We can have different tastes. It's all right.
Oh, I know. It's a lot of fun. So Darren's gone, I haven't given any of the bands a real shot though. That's fair enough. Actually, what you should do is just listen to sort of like go to Spotify if you have it. And you know how you've got the top 5 songs from each band? Just listen to the top 5 from all 3 and you'll get very, very quickly the difference between the 3. They're very different bands. You've got death metal, you've got operatic metal or symphonic metal, and you've got this one that's sort of in between where it's a more modern alternative sort of take on things as well. So yeah, Lacuna Coil being the out there one.
And then that's the best.
What was that? Sorry.
And then listen to Nightwish. They're the best out of everyone.
Okay, Dave. What do we got here? So here's one for you, Dave. GNR is the username. So there we go. Hey guys, so there's one for your heart, Dave.
Hey guys, been listening to you for years. Big fan.
All right.
I've been promising that comment for 12 years now.
Yeah, that's true. Jeff goes, Epica has the Beauty and the Beast vocals. Arch Enemy is all beast. Love them all. Got to meet Alyssa White when she was backup singer for Camelot when they played in Melbourne 2013. Fucking hell, well done, man. That's cool. That's a good one. All right. On to something that's different and local again. We've gone overseas, gone back to an Adelaide band now in Wolf and Chain to get everyone to check out this one. So the band is Wolf and Chain. The song is An Unfortunate Tale of Two Lovers and an Insatiable Taste for Poison. Yes, I know. Tim and I were talking about this in our last filming session for TV where it's like a Rob Zombie name generator. That sounds like this. But that's the song and the band. So the band is Wolf and Chain and the song is An Unfortunate Tale of Two Lovers and an Insatiable Taste for Poison. And this one continues the narrative of a previous single as well. Bit of a different one. So let's go to you first. Tim, what do you make of this?
I liked it. I'm not sure how many people will like it, though, for this particular audience.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it is that kind of it's very much a modern Panic at the Disco vibe, which is, I think, where the name title comes from.
Yeah.
That kind of long, nonsensical sentence for a song title.
Yep.
But I mean, overall, it's really well recorded. I think the composition's really nice and clever. Hook's great, catchy, the chorus is great. But again, it is that very modern emo Panic at the Disco kind of thing.
Yep.
So what your opinion of this is going to depend on what your opinion of that style is.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of that, Dave, how did you go?
It's kind of a Disney version of Wednesday 13.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess I've done the idea of the whole long title. I found that quite amusing, but I kind of got a bit of a Wednesday 13 vibe, but then I thought, no, there's no motherfuckers, there's no real violence, but there is bangs in the video, which is cool. I found it very interesting. It certainly gets your attention. The song is like 3.5 minutes, and it seems a lot longer because you got that midsection where it gets a bit quieter and it comes back up, and there's a lot that goes on in that 3.5 minutes. So as Tim said, it's very nicely composed. You got the horror punk vibe, which is pretty cool. I mean, you go on the Wednesday 13 site and there's like bands you may also like, and I flipped through a few of them, and the horror punk genre is very widespread because so many different bands are very different, and I'm very selective. There's not many that I've actually picked up on. But this is pretty cool. I did like this. The video is exceptionally well done. It certainly fits the music. They could probably work on the fangs a little bit more because they're a bit understated. But yeah, like I said, Disney version of Wednesday 13. Still a good song, though.
Yeah. Brendan, you didn't check this out at all, did you? So we'll just sort of skip you there for a minute there on this one.
I like the song title, so I'll give it 9 out of 10.
All right. See, for me, it's funny that Tim in particular referenced the goth emo kind of thing because it kind of put me a little bit in mind of My Chemical Romance, which is where I find it odd that Tim said you'll either it's very well done, but not many might enjoy this one, or from our audience in particular, so to speak.
Yeah, not many enjoyed My Chemical Romance either. That's
what I'm getting to. I think when we did the review, well and truly proven, I loved it. The rest of everyone else fucking hated it. Go back and watch that one online. So it gives me a little bit of that kind of a vibe. But I thought that there's an EP of this stuff due in a couple of weeks, which I'm curious to check out because I'm a fan of My Chemical Romance, especially the Black Parade album. But yeah, I thought there's a great hook in this. The clip tells a story, which is nice as well, and it continues the narrative established, or is like a prequel in a way to the one that was done beforehand. There's another one out there as well, if this gets your attention. But yeah, a good little Adelaide band that are kicking off and doing some good things, so I'm keen to check out more. It's got that goth emo sort of fun Halloween kind of vibe to it, with a bit of actual genuine darkness in some of the storytelling about it as well, which is pretty cool, especially in the visual attached to it. So I thought it was nicely done, well presented overall. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll get to it at some stage in our list of never-ending reviews to get through. Anyway, But yeah, I liked how. But like before I move on, I like how some bands now are doing that. They're telling a continuous story with video clips. So Ghost have done it. Alice in Chains did a fantastic job with the Rainier Fog clips. They did videos for almost all the songs and a long narrative through it. I think that's a really cool idea. That's another way to explore things and make more bang for buck when it comes to promoting this sort of stuff. Anyway, but that's something there to check out for sure. Got some comments here. So Sumalo says an insatiable taste for Poison sounds like they're into 80s glam metal. Well, possibly, but I think they're a relatively young band. I might be wrong, but I get the impression they are.
I think they
Sally,
just read Romeo and Juliet.
Well, yeah, that's true as well. Especially the video. Sally says, hey, seek out a band along these lines. We call it Unleash the Archers. They're much better than Nightwish. Dave got it wrong. Unleash the Archers. Sally, if you're on Twitter at all, maybe follow the singer because she's in a weird... Yeah, there's some things going on there maybe in the band. I don't know for sure, but there's some cryptic stuff going on. Don't know where that's going to go. But yeah, Unleash the Archers fans, follow the singer and let us know what you think. Conrad says Muse vocal cross between My Chemical Romance, perhaps. So there's the reference point that a lot of us got there. So Tim got the Muse stuff, and I got the My Chemical Romance thing. So that's a good crossover point there. But Nudes coming in with says so like Tism, the song titles are all better than the songs. So that's one for Nudes there as well. And here we go. Darren says, I like Unleash the Archers. Nightwish with Floor is my preferred version. So there's a different one there. So Dave, you're the big Nightwish. What's your favorite vocalist of the band?
Oh, I hate this question.
Here we go. Yeah.
Fuck. Julia loves Tarja. And that's the one that I discovered when I discovered Nightwish. Tarja's fucking amazing. But I like Nat. Unfortunately, got bad hit, but I think Floor is the best of both worlds. And Floor's the only one I've seen live. And when I saw Floor live, I was pissed because I wanted to see a Nat. So I'm like, okay, fucking prove yourself to me. I don't know who the hell you are. And she nailed every song. And then towards the end of the set, they did Ghost Love Score, which is Tarja's song. And Floor now owns that song. It is fucking incredible to hear her perform that live. So I'm going with Floor.
Okay, cool. Nicely thought out. I like it. Tough says, going back to Wolf and Chain, I like it. They remind me of the game Road Rash. They had all those rock bands playing while you hit other motorbikes with a bat while racing. That's cool, that game. Yeah, that's going back a bit. Jeff says, I found Wolf and Chain had an odd goth punk emo sound, kind of like Blink 182. Not a massive fan, but well done. I don't get quite the Blink 182 thing, but I do understand why some people would get that at the same time, though, if that makes sense. I'm not sure. New comment. Basha, good to see you here tonight. Thanks for joining us on Facebook. Nightwish live at the Forum in 2016 were amazing. Floor had a huge presence and the band rocked. So there we go. Good to see you here. Thank you. Yes, that's it. Sally's gone Britney Slayers. Yes, we'll just follow her because she's put up an interesting tweet tonight. So yeah, check it out. Last little bit. It's been interesting to watch her. I don't know what's going on there, but watch this space in that regard. And Conrad gone Floor by far. So there we go. In agreement with you there, Dave. So that's that. All right. Now, the next one's a bit of a different one. We're going to put a link in the comments now, which is more of a promotional thing, a plug for I think, WA band or Adelaide band, or maybe, I don't know. They're Australian. I think it might be Melbourne, actually, when I think about it. But a band called the Omnific, which we played on the show.
They're from Melbourne.
They're from Melbourne, yeah. So we played them on the show recently. We did talk about their stuff recently on a live stream as well. But they've just had their new EP release, and they're trying to get into the charts. So what we're trying to get everyone aware of now is if you're tuning in now or even share this particular link, which is in the comments, please do share around and spread the word, because if you get into it and you purchase an album in the next few hours before midnight tonight, they can hopefully get into the charts. So it's a bit of a push for a band to get into the charts. So get on that one. If you're a fan of progressive rock or metal at all, which is just instrumental, it's a drummer and two bass players. Really interesting stuff. Check it out and give them a bit of a push if you feel so kind to do so. All right. Conrad says, Tarja had a head up her bum and insulted us here in Australia to quote her playing shitty little venues after the corner gig. And so then fuck Tarja to the moon. Okay, cool. That pissed off a few people, it seems.
Imagine you uploaded high notes with that.
Well, all right. Or you could be aiming for the brown note. But yeah, there we go. There's that joke. I'll send myself out the fucking door right about now. Okay, I don't know. Similar's that link is not correct. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what happened to that link. It should have worked. It does work for me. It's an email kind of MailChimp kind of thing. I don't know how it's not working. It's working fine for me, but otherwise, Tim, if you've got a chance to have a look, just jump on and just find a thing for the Omnific and send it to me into the chat, and then I'll share it here in the comments anyway. Dan says he'll do it for him. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And Jeff has gone, if anyone's sitting on the fence regarding Floor Jansen as the best singer for Nightwish, Google Ghost Love score from the Live at VAC in 2013. If that doesn't convince you, nothing will. Okay, there we go. Cool. Tough score. What the fuck? I got Taylor Swift. I don't know what the fuck's going on YouTube. No,
it's the same on Facebook. It's the same on Facebook. You should probably can that link.
Okay, cool. I can't delete it. I'll find a new one for you all now.
Yeah, I'll send one to you.
Right. Okay, cool. Let's just go to the Facebook page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share their Facebook page because I'm sure they've got the Escapades links out there now. So, or actually, maybe I'll find the Bandcamp.
Hold up.
Okay.
There's one coming in your message now.
All right, sweet. This is live, folks. This is how we work things out on the go. I don't know what's going on with that link there, but I'll go to that now.
Yeah, we wanted the group chat.
All right, cool. I'm finding it now. I'll get that link going on. Yeah, follow the next link I'm about to send. Tuff's gone. Should I delete my Taylor Swift history? That could be a problem for a few. I reckon. But anyway, there. What the hell? Come on. I hate the buffering and the load stuff. Okay, so here's the right link. I'll share this one now. Let us know, people, if this one works. There's a different link going in the comments now. Follow this one. I'm glad I didn't put this in the description. It's a smart URL, the Omnific, so please hope this looks like it should be the right thing. So please do check it out. The Omnific Escapades is the EP. Get onto that one and follow the links in there. There's Bandcamp, Spotify, all that sort of stuff. Follow the Bandcamp link and help the band get on the charts by giving it an order now if you like that sort of stuff. So please do check it out for sure. Funniest thing is, it looks like every other platform's getting it, but not fucking Facebook. So I don't know. This is fucking weird. I don't know what's going on tonight. Let's do this one. So let's go back to this. Just bear with me for a second, folks. This is all fucking beautiful stuff here.
Award-winning television, folks.
It is award-winning television. I'm glad we didn't win awards for streaming, but here's the band on Facebook as well. So I'm going to put the band's Facebook page in the comments now. Find, follow, like, share, all sorts of stuff. Get this band in the charts, so give them a bit of a plug. This is fucking more work than it's worth at the moment while we're doing this live, but this is what we're trying to do to give a shout-out to a band, try and get some stuff out there as well. So give them some support. Purchase the copy of the EP. It's a fucking ripper, and we'll get onto that one as a review very, very soon. Sumalet says, Floor is nearly the correct answer to which singer do you prefer without specifying a band. Well, that's a fucking fair bit of praise there. So there we go. People are saying the link worked. Okay, cool. So there's a couple of links now that work in the comments. Go and check it out. We'll move on. Tuff's gone, shit, what's with all these songs sounding like a good Road Rash game? And then, so Nude says, never work with animals, kids, or drinking metalheads. I have all three, so I'm fucked either way. Yep.
And fireworks.
Yeah, and fireworks. Yeah, actually, I've done that as well. You've seen the New Year's Eve stuff we've done in the past, so I've done that too. Anyway, all right, cool. Let's move on to another one now, which is a bit of a different one. This is I'll share a link to an article here, Tone Deaf article that came through. It's very, very quickly. Let's touch on this one. There's an Iron Maiden issue over in Canada, I think it is, with a school principal. There was a petition driven up to sack a principal because of their posts regarding Iron Maiden, and it's a school with, the 666 is the bad idea and all sorts of stuff. So it's a fucking bunch of nonsense. But anyway, there's a petition that's gone around. So Dave, let's go to you. What did you make of all this shit?
Oh, fuck. We've been through this debate for decades. And I grew up in a time when we had the warning labels on the album covers, and we had the Video Nasties banned, and people were blaming violent video games for violence in real life. And 99% of every other kid from the 80s and 90s teenagers, I listened to all the music, I saw all the movies, I played all the games, I enjoyed it as entertainment, and thinking, why would I kill somebody because I consume this entertainment? It's the difference between that. And so all these years later, we've all grown up. We've all got careers. Some people are principals. Some people are doctors, police officers, lawyers, politicians, whatever. And it's the debate that violent in entertainment filtered out because people start to realize that it's not the cause of violence in real life. There's always other contributing factors. But for some reason, society's gone in circles again, and we're just filtering back and giving stupid people a voice. And
people can say that about us.
Yeah, compared to this, we're smart. But yeah, a small amount of concerned parents started this petition, and it's a bit of amusement. Apparently, there's no petition with 10 times the signatures to keep her. But it's one of those things that's spread around pretty quickly because of the ludicrousy of it. But a group of concerned parents, I'm a concerned parent. I don't want my kids hearing a song like WAP. I think that's crap. I'm not going to start a petition, though. To each their own. The question is, can this principal do her job? Does she show up to work on time? Can she lead her teachers? Does she get respect from the kids? Whatever she needs to do her job. Who gives a shit what she does on her free time? Simple.
Yeah, we got some comments coming through, which is funny. I'll get to those in a second. But yeah, well put, Dave. What about you, Brendan?
Oh, look, this is just clickbait of the highest order, so who really gives a flying fuck? The beauty of it is that this in their little community will generate more Iron Maiden fans than there were in the past. So it'll come back to shit in the foot, like everything they ever do. It's like the warning labels that they all end up wearing on fucking T-shirts. So, to wowse a moron parents, I'm pretty sure it was the Catholic school too, shock horror. So, it's... Jesus, you want to make sure your kid's going to end up on drugs and listening to fucking heavy metal music? Keep it up. Good work.
Tim, what about you?
Imagine being mad at Iron Maiden in 2021. Like, oh my god,
that's true. Yeah,
like Call of Duty was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, really? Okay, yep.
Well, almost. Like, I remember playing Halo when I was in primary school.
Okay.
Just to put you into perspective of how fucking old Iron Maiden is and how insane it is to be mad at Iron Maiden in 2021. Yeah, whatever.
Yep.
They can be mad. Like Dave said, she's a good principal. That's the only thing that really matters.
That's where we're at now. I think just manage it on the ability to do the job. The rest of it is really going to backfire because I guess there'll be an Iron Maiden tour happening to that town very, very soon because the Spotify streams and all the data algorithms that Iron Maiden rely on to work out where they're going to tour next, it's going to go through the fucking roof in that town. So I wouldn't be surprised if they start the local fucking band hall and just smash it. And well done to them if they do. I think that'll be fucking the icing on the cake for me as far as I'm concerned. Silly stuff. If this is your biggest concern in life, get a life. And that's about the end of that as far as I'm concerned. It's nonsense. It is, as Brendan said, clickbait of the highest order, and we've all bought into it, but it's a lot of fun to chat about very, very quickly here tonight as we go through this one. But there's been some good comments here raised as well. Nudes and also Conrad have gone, Nico McBrain is a born again, which I feel needs to be pointed out to these parents, which is true. Nico McBrain is devout. Yeah, he's a Christian. He's devout. So it has been for quite some time.
Kind of disappointing.
That's very disappointing.
But anyway, besides that, Nude said the same thing. Like the drummer is a Christian, so it's all very strange. And this is in Canada as well, not America, which I would have thought more in America than Canada. But hey, who knows?
Crazy people exist everywhere.
Yeah. This is true. We're finding it in our day-to-day life right now. Darren comes in with a great point, though, saying the clergy has done worse to society than metalheads, which I would argue is definitely the case in point.
Iron Maiden will just get moved to the next town over and we'll all forget about it.
That's right.
Well, that's true. Fucking well put. Well put, sir. Well played. Tubbs going, so Nicki Minaj is okay. I got an STD from listening to a Dirty WAP song, so there we go with that one. Jess gone, the school is in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. Trust me when I say St. Catharines is a shithole, so this doesn't surprise me. Jeff would know, he's our resident Canada expert, so thank you for the input there. Beck agrees with Dave, saying spot on. Todd says, I love chucking on metal while my nephew came over to play old violent games like Doom. Yeah, Doom, Rise of the Triad, a bunch of other ones as well. Like, fuck, this is just silliness now, honestly. Dean's gone, what's the world coming to? Tuff's gone, this will actually work for metal kids. We'll always do what parents say don't. And that's the thing, too. That's where it gets silly. It's like, if you want to piss your kids off and make them do what you don't want to do, this is how you do it. Because the thing is that kids are savvier in this world than the parents are. They know these petitions come on. That's why there's 3 times more signatures going the other way than there is for whatever. So, anyway.
I spent
Sally's gone, yes.
Last lockdown playing NBA 2K, and I'm still a shit basketballer, just so you know.
Never a truer word spoken for any of us here, Brendan, so well put. Sally's gone, yes, saw this thing with a teacher, pissed me off. Have they even glimpsed the debauchery that goes on in the rap and hip-hop culture? So quarter-witted Catholic crapo. So there we go. We're getting into a bit of this stuff now, which is fun. Tuff's gone, I'm a born-again atheist. And Man Family, a big shout-out to the Man Family because they're a new Patreon supporter of ours as well, so thank you for signing up and getting involved. But 984 plus Maiden got me through school. Now we're annoying people in 2021, so there we go. That's all we need to know about that. If you're still that relevant, you've done something pretty fucking right as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
if we're
true.
relevant 40 years from now, fuck me, we've done something pretty goddamn good. I don't know how we'll go, but we'll give it a shot. And Jess Osborne on YouTube saying hello to us. So thank you for joining us here tonight. Good to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. All right, let's get on to a hot topic and try not to make this one drag out too long. Very quickly, we know that in Melbourne and in Australia in general, we've got the quote-unquote vaxxed economy coming up. And this is not to be this is trying to make this as apolitical as we can. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen? But I want to talk quickly about the vaxxed economy and how it impacts on the live music scene coming up, because I'm already getting emails from venues saying they're going to have to implement this stuff, the vaccine passes to get into the venues and that, and bands have to do all that sort of stuff too. So there's a lot to play out in this space that's yet to come. But Brendan, let's go to you first. The vaxxed economy and live music, how do you think it's going to play out?
I think it's going to be a cluster to start with.
Yeah.
But it will work itself out pretty quickly. It's not going to be easy because, of course, we're relying on government to make these fucking sensible decisions. As we know, good ideas go into government. They kick them around until they're fucked ideas, and then they give them to us. And that's basically what's going to happen here. They're probably going to make it so fucking impractical and awful that, you know, it's going to be difficult. And this is whether you're vaxxed or not. I mean, I haven't had it in my work today with a couple of sites we go on to. Like, we now have to send these body corp people our vax certifications and all this kind of stuff. And to be honest, it even gets my back up. And, like, we're all vaccinated. But I'm kind of like, fuck you. Who you are? You know, like, it's none of your business. But it kind of is. I know they've got to have a safe work environment. And yeah, but it's just that it does feel a little invasive, so it's going to cause a lot of drama. So to anyone that does get really upset about it, just take a deep breath. It will be short-lived. It's what is hopefully a short-term problem, and you just got to keep moving forward. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very murky, ugly little space for a little bit, I think. Yeah.
Tim, you're probably the most engaged in this space, especially with what you're going through at the moment. So how do you think it's going to play out?
It's very interesting because, like, we saw how long it took for them to get contact tracing right. Like, starting at a federal level and going with the apps and then going to the local level, and it really took a good year to get a workable system in. And even then, like, I'm sure anybody who works in a situation knows getting everybody to check in is virtually impossible.
Yeah.
So and you get these bars too where you're paying $50 for some kid to sit on the door and you know, collect everyone's $5. They're supposed to check everyone's vaccination status as well. Like, seriously?
Not going well. Yeah.
It's exactly. I mean, regardless of what you think, like, for a law to work, it needs to have two things, which is obviously the majority of people need to be in favour of the law.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you say what you want about that. But the second bit is, like, the law needs to be enforceable.
Yeah.
And whether or not this law is enforceable in a practical way, I really don't know. So, I mean, well, like I said, I mean, I'm sure some people are going to try and enforce it. I'm sure some people are going to get ticked off at it. Yeah. But, I mean, realistically, I mean, people are just doing their jobs. So, yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. What about you, Dave?
Yeah, it's the situation we're in. It's not just going to disappear tomorrow, so it's just something everyone has to deal with. And when I go back to normal, or as close to normal as we can be, it's just we're going to have to put some things in place to protect as many people as possible. I mean, and bands want to play, venues want patrons, fans want to see bands. Everyone's been through enough, so if you just do a couple of simple requests that have been asked of you, don't be a dick about it, and it should hopefully people will get used to doing it. I mean, if you're pro-choice and you decide not to get vaccinated, you're fully aware that there's things you're going to be excluded from. I mean, that's not the band's fault. It's not the venue's fault. It's the situation that we're in. So if you're inclined to be on that side, don't take it out on the people that might deny your entry. They're just doing their job. Like every person in retail or hospitality, don't be a prick to them. They're just doing what they have to do. But it's the simplest thing. If you're vaccinated, get your app, show your vaccination slip, done. Takes more time to bitch about this than it does to actually get it done. Go inside, grab a drink, see some bands, hang out with some friends. Job done. It's not that fucking hard. Don't be a bitch about it.
I think it is going to be interesting to watch how this plays out. Like I said, I'm already getting the emails from the venues that are, I guess, preemptively trying to make it so that the public are aware that they're not choosing the rules that are in place. They're having to enforce them to be open at all. And for me, that's the biggest point of concern, if that makes sense. The rules and the laws will work themselves out. I don't think this will last too long, ultimately, because I just don't see it being a completely viable thing to enforce. Getting an 18 to 20-year-old to enforce this stuff, even if there's a bounce on the door, is just going to be fucking painful. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in that space when it comes to one person holding up 50 people want to get into the venue. That's going to be really interesting to watch people trying to control that environment. So I think as a general idea for mine, I know that some people don't agree with it all, but be kind to the people that are just literally doing what they have to do to survive. Because most people in the industry, be it venues, bands, the people working the door, all this sort of stuff, they're all casually employed. They need this shit to get off the ground. We've seen how much we hit the music scene and the university sector have taken during the course of COVID. So I think just be nice to the people that are actively trying to do the best they can in a set of shit circumstances for everyone involved. And I think the messaging has been pretty clear on this by now. If you don't like it, don't want to, all that sort of stuff, that's okay. It's your choice. Do what you want to do. But at the same time, you'll have to understand that the rules apply to the population in general, not to they're not singling you out, if that makes sense. I know it's all whatever, but it'll be interesting. I hope that people will take it not out on the people on the ground. I know that's an easy target, but I hope that people would take it up with the people that make the legislation. So take it up with the government and the local representative versus take it up with the person on the door at the bar when you're trying to get in.
It is funny how we react to things as humans. Because if I get asked to show my license to get in because I want to check my age, I don't think twice about it.
Yeah. Yep. I don't get it.
It's totally not a big deal for anyone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's funny because Jody works in the construction industry, and having to watch her go through all the stuff with the being able to go back to work in this space, in that industry after what happened. It's been trying, and every day shit changes. It's pretty fucking nuts. So it'll be the same thing for the music industry. We know the music industry gets a lot less attention than the construction industry does in this town.
But Tim's saying that getting carded's not a big deal. For you to prove your age. It's a pretty fucking big deal when you're 17.
That's my point. That's my point, though. That's my point, though. Like, we've decided, because pubs and clubs are where we're interested in, right? And we've decided that people under the age of 18 aren't allowed to drink or aren't allowed to buy alcohol from a bar, right? We've all had beers when we're under 18. That's not the argument, right?
Yeah.
So there are restrictions in place to prevent that. Yeah. And, part of that is involved, if you look under 18, they're going to check your bar. Some places, I mean, if you've ever gone to the Hi-Fi or Billboard or whatever, they're going to scan your license to check if it's fake, things like that. None of us did twice.
Too. They check the lockout list, kind of thing, people that aren't allowed back in.
Exactly. So, I mean, we don't think twice about that. Whereas this one, we've kind of been conditioned in this argument that, well, one's okay, but one's not. I do find it interesting how that's happened because, the level of invasiveness.
A breath test is a medical test to see if you're fit to drive.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's lots of little analogies that are interesting. They make for interesting discussion, which we can go on for hours. But
Fuck, if I get asked for ID these days, I'm flattered, which has been a comment here as well. Like, it just doesn't happen anymore. But
I'd be so amused.
I get a good chuckle out of that sort of stuff when it happens. It actually happened for a while for me. It's faded over the last few years, but anyway. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Look, I just hope that I know there's a lot of anger and general tension about this sort of stuff. Just don't take it out on the people at the venue or the band, whatever else. Everyone's trying to make the best of the situation that's been imposed upon them. Let's do what we can to make live music come back, as opposed to make this another sticking point that doesn't need to be one for now. If you're going to be antagonistic about it, maybe just stay the fuck at home until things are better settled. I would rather see that happen so everyone can have a good night. And
it is only going to be. I see this going on for 6 months max. So.
Oh yeah, it's not permanent. It's
forever.
No, it can't be. There's no way they can legislate this forever. But anyway, that's that. Get some comments here on this one as well. What have we got here? So going back to the Iron Maiden thing for a second, Jeff's gone, no such thing as bad publicity, which is also true. Like I said, they're going to tour there, I reckon. And Jeff says, Kiss has got me past lockdown. So here's a good question for everyone. Whatever band has gotten you through lockdown, put it in the comments. Share, what band has gotten you through lockdown, what music you listen to get you through. Tough says, the Omnific is great backing music to you guys, so that's all right there as well. And then Conrad says the My Music Bowl show is a way of testing the double vax passport system. That's true. That's coming up very, very soon as well. It's not far away. I think that's just before the Cup. There's a gig happening at the...
Not exactly comparable with going to a dive bar, though, is it?
No, it's not. Not even close, but we'll see what happens in that space. Tough says, I'm vaxxed, don't give a shit who's done what. I'm protected by Bill Gates microchip of doom, so there's that one as well. Conrad says, yeah, trial, see how it works. Tough says, look forward to growing some horns. It'll be a great beer can opener. Well, that's a good point. Find the positive in life. That's always a good thing to do. Jess has gone, I want to see Kiss. Not until next year at the earliest, I would say there, Jess. Unfortunately, being the bearer of bad news there. Jeff's gone, there has to be some sort of electronic scan system like a personal QR code. There will be people who will try to slip through the cracks and cheat the system. There needs to be an infrastructure built. I think that's happening with the server.
They're going to do that anyway.
Yeah. Seriously, if you worry about that sort of stuff, don't have one of these. Like, just don't have a smartphone.
My COVID certificate says McLovin.
Yeah. Dean says it could be me, but I feel a lot of bands will not play again, especially local bands in pubs. They don't want to give in to the government, but I really think this will play out quickly. Just what Brendan said: either it's in for life or it'll die out. We will get back to normal. This is no one's fault. Let's go back to it. Interesting how it'll play out, especially in the first 6 months, and that's what will be the testing ground. The 6 months window between mid next year. This will be a cooked goose. It'll be done. Conrad says, exactly, Dave, don't shoot the messenger, which is important here. Darren says, no, a few bands that have members with different thoughts on the vax. Potentially those bands won't get gigs, which is true, with unvaxxed members, so there may be breakups. That'll be interesting to watch that play out too, how it'll impact individual bands with different stances.
Hey, trust me, I know of bands that nearly broke up during the Trump era.
Wow.
Over things, and well-known bands that everybody knows. So this will definitely break up bands.
I know two marriages that are broken up over vax. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, Jody and I have discussed it because our families, they're in different camps. One family is really unified, the other family not, and it's been really interesting to watch that play out in the interpersonal dynamics. It's a tough time all around. So that's why I plead for kindness and calm thoughts on this one, because this is not worth getting permanently damaged over. It's going to last for 6 months tops. On the ID thing, Conrad says I'm 47. I'm rather flattered when I get asked for ID. I think that's all of us there. Dean says, an interesting topic all round. We've got to see what happens with this. Hope the punters, pub staff, and bands don't close down or break up because of lack of numbers in the pub to pay the bills, etc. So it'll be a really big test case here. Beck, on the other hand, says, stay the fuck at home so the rest of us can get on the beers. And that's another way of looking at it all as well. And going back to the what got you through, AC/DC Power Up from Dean got me through COVID. It was my savior, to be honest. Sumile says, I've listened to so much Ginger during the last year, and I would get that too. That's a great venting kind of music. Nude says, main thing getting me through life at the moment is U-Mob. That's flattering. I do appreciate that.
Slightly depressing.
I'm not sure to be really, really thrilled or kind of concerned. I'm flattered. I genuinely am. Like, in all seriousness, I'm flattered. If we bring the joy to the world that we try to, just sharing our idiotic thoughts every week, then hey, cool. I'm glad that people are on for the ride. That's honestly where it is for me. All jokes aside, I really hope that we bring something that makes people smile every week. That's what we try and do here. Jess is gone. I hope. I'm not sure what that's in reference to there, but Tuff's gone. They play a shitload of metal. Conrad says, concerts in Europe, you must show you have been fully vaxxed. I think it's getting close to in certain states of the US as well. That's a thing too.
Yeah, I think it was Lollapalooza, or might have been Lollapalooza that had like a 99.9% vaccination rate, which, I mean, that 0.1 would have just been a margin of error.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's not just here, for the record, for everyone there.
And I mean, like, I've seen there are like wrestling shows in like New York and all that where you can't, like Madison Square Garden, you can't get in without having like a vaccine certificate.
Yeah. So there's no one exempt across the world from this stuff. It's just where we are at the moment. Jess says, me and my family are going to be very sad when Dave Mustaine and Ozzy Osbourne pass away. That's going to be a sad day for everyone, I think, when they go. Dean says, getting my second dose first week in November and hopefully be 80% by then. That's when the pubs and bands start again. So good luck with that one too, mate. Hopefully it all goes well. Darren says, Wicked Smiles, Wait for the Night has been on rotation for me the last few weeks. I got Vulture's Deal and Death album, great old school thrash with that 80s thrash sound and production. Cool. Nice. And Beck has gone, Electromary, Let Me Out comes to mind. And that's pretty true for all of us, I think, at this point in time as well. All righty. So let me go back to my fucking links here for a second because I've completely fucked myself over by not being prepared in time, obviously, because I'm so professional as shit. Let's get on to our first review, the one of three that we're going to get through tonight. And in the comments now, you're going to find the link to the latest from Gus G. We're going to start there tonight. The new album is Quantum Leap. The song that's your reference track is Into the Unknown, which is a brand new video out I think like 3 days ago, I think it is when it dropped. So yeah, Gus G, Quantum Leap is the reference track. It's in the comments now. It's in the post or the description wherever you're tuning in from. So please hit it up, have a look while we go through our first review of the night, first of three. This is Gus G with Quantum Leap, 18 tracks for 77 minutes for the full edition, or 11 tracks for 46 minutes for the new album itself on its own. The fourth studio album from the Greek guitarist, released October 2021 via AFM Records, produced by Dennis Ward, who also played bass on this one. 4 singles have been released, including Force Majeure, which has a guest spot from Vinnie Moore, and Exosphere. An all-instrumental album. The lineup on this is complete by Will Hunt on drums. The extended edition has 7 live tracks to round it all out. Let's go to you first, Dave. How'd you go with this one?
Yeah, it's a pretty good instrumental album. The riffs are good, melodies are good, guitar tone's fucking beautiful. It did actually take me a while to get fully into it, though. A few listens from start to finish, I found myself not finding enough distinction between the songs. And it seemed like one very long, interesting album, but couldn't tell one song from the album for the most part. I got a riff here, a melody there. When I got to the end of the album, I was like, what song was that part in? So I just started putting songs at random, just going bang. And I just like, okay, that's that song. So I got, bit by bit, I took one song at a time for its own merits, and I found I could fully appreciate once I could appreciate each song, I could appreciate the album as a whole. So it's a bit of a grower. It takes a while to fully get into it. It's like instrumental albums can be like that because without the lyrics, you don't have that lyrical hook. So you don't say that's that song, that song. But once you get familiar with the songs, you're like, that's a cool riff. That's in that. That's this melody here. So it's a bit of a different mindset for doing instrumental albums. There is a lot to enjoy here once you get into it. I like how it's composed differently to what he does with Firewind. And there's places where like that's where the vocals would have been. So it's not like rejects from Firewind. It's all composed for what this album was going to be for him. Enigma of Light was a nice change of pace that broke up the album. The acoustic guitar, and that's pretty cool too. But that's where you kind of get a break. About 5 or 6 songs in, that's pretty cool. The live songs were a nice addition. He puts on an energetic live show. I think it'd be a fun to see live. And the cover of Thin Lizzy's Cold Sweat is pretty well done. I think about 5 bands I know of have covered that song. But you know, great fucking hooks of that song. And Money for Nothing, that was an interesting version. I didn't pick the song straight away. It's just like, I don't know if you can metal that song up. It's got that.
Was the last album, wasn't it?
What's that?
I think that was on the last album. I think he actually had a studio version on the last album.
Maybe, yeah. I think so.
But yeah, that's just a very iconic guitar tone. So took me a while to actually get into that. But overall, I gave it 7.5 out of 10. Stands for Quantum Leap, Demon Stomp, and Not Forgotten.
Cool. What about you, Brendan? You're the guitarist amongst us, apart from Dave, obviously, but you're the one that's in the active band. So, Mr. Rhythm Guitar, take it away.
Yeah, Dave's a much better guitarist than me, for the record.
Got to get you guys to a duet for TikTok.
Yeah, we can do that. Definitely. No, I loved the last album. I haven't been thoroughly impressed by it because instrumental albums are very hit and miss for me, generally speaking. I find it pretty hard. You've got to be a special kind of composer to put an instrumental album, particularly as a guitarist, to keep my attention for that length of time. So I'm sort of taking the live tracks out of this because that makes it a very long listen. So if you sort of exclude that, I thought this was bloody fantastic. Boy can play, as I was saying, guitar tone just for days. It is unbelievable sound. The boy can play, but it's the composition that does it for me. I think I said it when we reviewed his last album. I put him up there with sort of Satriani. He has that ability to do this really nice, like vocal melody with the guitar. So he can he gets verse, chorus, go very well. It makes it a very easy listen. It's not just a non-stop, guitar.
It's not a wank fest. Yeah.
He keeps it tuneful, keeps it melodic, and I think if that's what you like, if you like Satriani's classic stuff, there's no reason you wouldn't like this as well. I wouldn't have thought.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I gave it 9 out of 10. So I really enjoyed it. Chronesthesia, I assume it's called, and Force Majeure were my highlights. But yeah, I like it. It's not going to be for everyone, but. Yeah, if you like the guitar stuff, it's pretty fucking special. He's good.
All right, cool. What about you, Tim?
All right, so I've got 2 rules when it comes to guitar instrumental albums. Yeah. Now, the first rule is they need to be composed differently to a regular band. So if you follow a verse-chorus formula for an instrumental track, I'm out.
Yep.
First song had 3 choruses, a bridge, and a breakdown.
So you checked out?
And it just continued on from there. Second thing that I don't want is I don't want guitar karaoke. If the songs are just power chords and a basic 4/4 rock beat with licks over the top of it, I'm out.
I feel like I need to get this ready. Is that where this is going?
That is exactly where this is going. Look, the fact of the matter is, what I learned from this album is Gus G is a good guitar player. Congratulations. Yep. I could have listened to 20 seconds of Firewind to figure that bit out. And like the fact is, like this kind of guitar wank is just not impressive in 2021 when there's 400 million 14-year-olds on YouTube doing the exact same thing. I really don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if I brought you guys an album and I said, okay, here's my album, and then I put 4 basic guitar chords and just played a 60-minute drum solo.
Yeah.
There was no fucking way anyone would listen to it. And that's
True.
and I'm not saying this to be a dick, right? There's been great guitar instrumental albums. Case in point, I think I gave Petrucci's last album 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
There are ways to do it.
Yep, really
there
good.
are ways to do it. Unfortunately, most guitar players just end up doing this.
It's true.
So yeah, that one is lobbed straight into the bin.
There we go. First bin. There we go. Got in early tonight.
Yep.
See, for me, I liked it, but at the same time, it took a bit of time to grow me. And if it wasn't for the live tracks, I'd have liked this a lot less than I did. The live tracks kind of saved this one for me, to be honest. The thing is that I've reviewed a few of his albums over the time. I think I've reviewed all but one. And generally speaking, I've enjoyed his composition and the way that he's composed things and how it's not just it's a mix of that. You got your good song structure that you want, but also enough of the wank factor to get you engaged in that regard too. But it's all nicely balanced. I found this one to be, I don't know. It just blurred too much. The differentials between song to song didn't really cut enough for me. There were differences in the songs, but even now thinking back on the listen, it's like, okay, yeah, it was a guitar album. Okay. And when my mind goes back to listen to this one, the production's great. The tones are fantastic. The execution is brilliant. Like tones, playing wise, there's no question of talent or ability or production excellence. All those things are there. It's just purely a case of other songs strong enough to cut through. And when the live tracks, especially with the vocals, gave me more to remember, and the covers did as well than the originals did, it's like, okay, well, what are we doing here? Because it was a good, 40 minutes. Okay, cool. We listen to it. It's fine. But it really didn't grab me. And I've listened to other ones that have. And this one had other things too. Like there were synth touches in this one as well. There were little bits and pieces across one. Nice. There was diversity. It wasn't like a one-trick pony, but at the same time, everything just bled. And it didn't it was way too easy to tune out. And that might be a me thing, because I've said in the past and a few times now over the years that these sorts of albums struggle to keep my attention on them, because it has to be pretty special to keep me locked in. So I will be first to put my hand up and go, okay, I'm a bit harsh on these records. But when we listen to some local bands do it well, I forget the name now, but the local guitarist that was in Mason, who did a fucking stunning EP a couple of years, that was brilliant. And when I think back to Wolf Hoffman and his one, and there's a few that jump out and go, fuck, they're fantastic. This one just sort of seemed to hedge the bets between going full Malmsteen and going into the whole composition territory, and didn't quite nail either side. So it just kind of sat in the middle for me a bit. It's still good, but when I think back on what, stands out, ultimately I picked standout tracks, but at the same time, if I'm going to listen to this one, I'm going to go to the live tracks, because when he works with vocals, I think that works better. I think that's his strength, as opposed to trying to do an instrumental solo album. Because I've had the same critique of Nita Strauss. Dave loved that one, but for me, it was the same critique. It just didn't quite do enough for me either. So, make of that what you will. I'm pretty harsh on these albums overall, so take it with a grain of salt. But this wasn't bad, but the live tracks say it bumped it up. If it wasn't for that, the score would be lower. So I gave it 7.5 out of 10. I picked Judgment Day, Night Driver, and Force Majeure on this one as well, which is funny that Brent and I crossed over on Force Majeure, but there we go. That's where it's at. All right, cool. Sally,
to go at all. That's not how I was expecting the review to go at all. I thought Brendan would have canned it. I thought Tim would have appreciated it. Yeah, that was strange.
There you go.
So I was about what you thought, though. Sally's gone. To be honest, I listened for about 90 seconds of the first song and thought, yep, he can play. No flavor or X Factor. I listened another 30 seconds and I was done. So there we go on that one. Conrad had not heard this record, but did like the Kiko Loureiro latest album. That was off the scale brilliant. So there we go. Just wanted to check out for everyone there. Nicole's joined us on YouTube saying, evening all bloody late again. Apologies while you've just tuned in for another couple of reviews to go. So thank you for joining us tonight. What else have we got here? Jeff says, wondering if you guys done or will do a review for George Lynch Solo. It is seamless and amazingly diverse instrumental album. We were going to do it when it came out, but the schedule didn't quite line up for us that week or fortnight. There was a few things going on. So we might circle back to it. I'm not sure if we will. We'll see how things play out between now and the end of the year. Gus G said, Enigma of Life was filmed at Seaford Wetlands. He's very talented. There's no one knocking his talent. It's just a matter of, is this going to grab your attention? He also says, it reminds me of that dude that does metal versions of games like Skyrim, which is kind of like his, I guess, yeah, I get that, actually. Here's one for Dave in particular. Beast in Black new album. Thinking about buying it. So, Dave, you're a big fan. There's been a couple of tracks released of that one coming up. What do you think of it so far?
I prefer Battle Beast. The guitarist, he was originally in Battle Beast, and when I discovered that band, they were fantastic. And then I've interviewed him, and I interviewed the singer from Battle Beast, and she was lovely. She was a fantastic interview. And he was the most miserable person I have ever spoken to in my life. I was not surprised at all when he quit the band. He just was not interested. So, yeah, I haven't heard all that much Beast in Black, but from what I have heard, they are pretty good. So, for whatever reason, he left that band and joined this new band. I think that's creatively, that's what he prefers to do. But, yeah, they're pretty good. I haven't heard the new album yet. I will give it a listen when I get a chance. But, yeah, overall, I think Battle Beast are a better band.
Okay, cool. Anyone else got anything they want to add to that one quickly, or... No, all right, cool. Shaking heads all around. We're all good. Jeff had a nice comment before. He said, THRS should be massive. It brings so much joy to the community, introduces music and amazing convos, and shits all over the other shows that try. So thank you for the kind words there, Jeff. Very much appreciate it. Yeah. Award-winning stuff. There we go. We'll go with those if you're ready. Yeah, we're never going to get tired of that. T-shirts are coming soon. I promise you that. All right. Let's move on to the next one that I know, for example, Dean, if you're still with us tonight, this is going to be one for you. The next two are going to be for you. But first up, let's get to Eclipse. In the comments or in the description, there's Eclipse is the band. The song is Bite the Bullet, which I've spelling has gone fucking wrong when I put Bit the Bullet, which is meant to be Bite the Bullet. But anyway, you know what I mean. Check it out. Eclipse Bite the Bullet is the reference track as we go through our next review. Dave, I'm going to make you wait till the end because I know how much you love this one already. This is Eclipse with Wired, 11 tracks, 41 minutes, the 8th studio album, the Swedish band, released October 2021 via Frontiers Records, produced by singer and main songwriter Eric Martinson at Blowout Productions in Sweden. 3 singles have been released, including Twilight and Saturday Night Hallelujah. There's been a lot of love given this band over the years from both past and present members of the THRS crew. So let's see if the golden run will continue. And Tim, let's go to you first on this.
Yeah, I thought this was really very good. Cool. Yeah, I made the comment, I think it would have been the last show, the show before, about the melodic rock, Swedish rock thing has been going on for 10, 15 years now, and I'm curious to see where, bands start to take it because, eventually everything runs its cycle. But I think, an album like this kind of shows that I think for any style, it goes well. When it's done really well, it is done really well, and I think you can take a step back and appreciate it. I thought this, first of all, it's recorded fantastically well. Tones captured great. Performances are fantastic. Vocals in particular. Vocal performance was really great. Songs are really, well written. They're not, they're not anything that you haven't heard before if you've been listening to, this kind of style of music. But I think they just... It's the little things that are done, a little better. When to push ahead, when to hold back. I think the melodies are all there. So all in all, it's a really fantastically well put together album. Where everything sits in the mix and all that kind of stuff. It's all really slick and great. Yeah. So if you're into this kind of stuff and you haven't heard Eclipse, I mean, I'm sure you have, but obviously check this out. But I mean, even if you're into like 80s Sunstrip stuff, if you haven't gone into Eclipse, you definitely should. Rose on Your Grave and Saturday Night were my 2 highlights, and 9 out of 10.
Beautiful. It said 9?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Cool. Brendan, over to you.
I'm supposed to love this band, but I don't.
I was wondering how you go, considering the Night Flight Orchestra hooked you last time. So I was curious if this...
The Night Flight album is a fuck ton better than this. This is
Dave's face, man, that's gold.
Those two bands are not similar.
No.
but there's crossover.
If they're both music, yes.
Yeah. I've never, I never really sunk my teeth much in this Swedish melodic rock thing because I find it all really sameish and boring. And this album, although there's parts of it obviously really stand out, and I can obviously recognise the talent, the vocal, and everything's great, but every song sounds like it should. The video clip should be a sweaty Kevin Bacon running through an empty fucking warehouse. It just bores me shitless. It really does. And then this album, it actually starts really well and then picks up again in the end. There's this huge lull in the middle.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Huge. For me, again, it's not bad. If you like this stuff, you'll like it. But to me, I just really don't understand the appeal. It's just like a lot of the stuff in the genre. For my ears, they're just also ran. They all kind of sound the same. It's all just lyrically kind of the same. It's not bad. It's really well performed. And obviously extremely talented. He's a great singer, no doubt.
Yeah.
The songs just are too cliche for me. And I get very little out of it. So I gave it a solid 5 because, it's all right. Roses on Your Grave and Bite the Bullet were good.
Okay. That's all right.
More Kevin Bacon to you, I say.
I was curious how this one would go with you, but I got the response out of that. That's all right. Dean, when you're giving your thoughts, Dean said Dave's face. So there we go.
Well, it happens a lot when Dave and I review stuff that we don't like.
Yes, it does actually. A lot of fun. All right, so Dave, retort. I know you want to.
Fucking wow. Remember when we get to my bin later, Brendan's comment about Flight Orchestra. There's a spoiler.
Okay.
But...
All right.
Okay. Eclipse never let me down. Ever since I discovered them with Monumentum a few years ago, they've become one of my new favorite bands. That album was fucking fantastic, and this band is amazing. When they started releasing singles in the lead up to this release, and you hear songs like Saturday Night and Bite the Bullet and Twilight, they all sounded great. I know people like to say that your leading singles have to be the best of the album. Well, those singles are fantastic, and the rest of the album is just as good, if not better. Fuck. A lot of albums give you that 1-2 opening punch. This does that and continues to deliver 41 minutes. It's absolute fucking quality from start to finish. I have listened to this non-stop for the last few days. The production of the album is...
Brendan's doing the dip.
Oh, man, I don't know. Fuck. You like Limp Bizkit. That's the only reason I can understand.
That's the only beat. That's the only bullet in your chamber. Come on.
It explains a lot. The production on the album is outstanding. If you're familiar with the band, you know they've never released a crappy sounding album, but I think they really exceeded with themselves with this. Everything about this is just an absolute joy to listen to. Excuse me. The guitar tones are beautiful, ballsy distortion, and the clean tones are used really well, especially in Bite the Bullet, instrumental midsection when they start to use the clean tones. And I heard that single, I'm just like, okay, this has got my attention. This album's going to be fucking great. I would love to steal this guitarist's equipment, or at least find out what his setup is, because I fucking love his. I don't really focus on drums, not my thing, but it's hard not to notice them here. It's a really nice, big drum sound, and they're just as much a part of the composition as the guitars and the drums are. This band really works together to make the absolute best out of everything that they do. The composition of the songs is spot on. There's no wasted moments at all, and they're just so fucking instantly infectious. The first time listening to them, you just pick up on the hooks and the choruses, and at first listen, and by the end of the song, you know that that's what you want. It's just a fun listen. I mean, how often have we heard the 2-5-1 chord progression? It's been used a million times, but it sounds as fresh as ever in the end of Run for Cover. There's no other way you could imagine to end that song, and it fits perfectly. And we've heard that progression a million times. And, it should be dated. It should be boring, but it fits perfectly. And, the singer is fucking fantastic. His voice suits the high energy of this band. It also fits the tender moments that they do. And he can write some really nice lyrics, and he's just delivery brings them to life. Now, lyrically, they do touch on some heavy themes. It's mostly just high energy fun, but A song like "Roses on Your Grave" and the whole "Only the good die young," that could be pretty bleak, but it's an old saying and everyone knows it. We can latch onto it easily, and it's presented in a fun, upbeat, energetic way, but it also gets you thinking. And I thought that song was fucking fantastic. And the use of "Born to Lose, Live to Win," instantly you think of Lemmy. And we're losing lots of great musicians in this age, and we're going to lose a lot more. But that whole dying breed, but we're all kind of connected because it's a global thing that people listen to rock music. It might not be the flavor of the month at the moment, but it's something that's got history. It's one of those songs where it's going to be great to hear live because all the fans are there for the same reason. And this band just writes fucking great songs. And then you got a fun song like "Saturday Night" with the fun party vibes. The flanger effect in that was very cool. You don't hear flange all that often. I really like that. Now, while most songs are high energy, there are tender moments like "Carved in Stone," "Poison Inside My Heart," and "Things We Love." The vocals on those songs are great, and they're quieter moments, but they don't lose the overall energy of the album. They don't feel out of place. You just keep that feel. Usually, I would comment on guitar solos a lot earlier in my reviews, but there's so much going on in these songs that if they didn't have solos, I wouldn't miss them. But they do, and they're fantastic, and it's just that extra bit of icing on top of the cake that makes it fucking perfect.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone here has seen the movie The Wrestler, where Mickey Rourke is in the bar with Marissa Tomei. They're listening to Rat Round and Round, and they're talking about the old bands like Crew and Guns N' Roses, and how music used to be fun until that pussy Cobain came along and fucked it all up. And like having a good time. I thought music like this was dead and gone a long time ago. So I'm so fucking happy that bands like Eclipse and Heat and Reckless Love and Santa Cruz, even though they're fucking dead now. But if like me, you think 93 to 99 was the fucking worst time in rock and roll, you're going to love this because all that fun that kind of died for so long, it's back. If you like Nirvana, you'll probably fucking hate this. Any other year, this would be a guaranteed #1 album for me, but there's been so much great music released this year. Top 10 is going to be really hard, but this will certainly be in my top 3. They're just such a great band, top-notch performances, great musicians. Most importantly, they write great, fun songs. This is a band that could prove to the masses that rock certainly isn't dead. And I find it really hard that anybody couldn't like this. What the fuck, Brendan?
I didn't like it.
It's the monumentum, and it's really hard to say. But to me, in those early stages, I think it's at least equal to the album. Those two albums, it's fucking great. I go this 10 out of 10, and my every single track. I actually listed every single track. I'm not going to read them out. I've spoken enough, but yeah, this is a fucking fantastic album. Equally 10 out of 10.
Wow. Well, I can't beat anyone else's review tonight. That's going to be done on this one. Look, I think this is fantastic. The songwriting, the performances, and composition, production in particular was really nice on this one. How there wasn't a lot going on production wise, but there was at the same time. It was very subtle. There was a lot of nice little bits of layering put into this one. Some nice use of panning to hard left to right for different impact and making the tom sort of bounce around left to right a bit. The production, what I find remarkable about following Eric Martinson's career over the last decade, I guess, for me, is just that I think he's carving out a good little legacy for himself, not only as an artist, but as a producer. And the different projects he does, nothing is terrible at all. Like, you'd never bin anything he's put his fingerprints on in any way, shape, or form. Whether you're a fan of the band or the styles, or whatever, or not, it doesn't matter. You won't bin it because the execution is bang on. And his legacy in years to come is going to be one we look back on and go, fuck, okay, this guy did a lot. And he's nailed another album for his own, personal band kind of a thing. And it's impressive to watch that play out. I think the songs in this are fantastic. I liked how in the middle of the album you had Carved in Stone as the nice little break, the Oasis in the middle there. But around that, you got all these songs that opens and closes really strong. I do kind of get what Brendan says about the dip effect, how it opens and closes strong and then sort of dips away in the middle. That's going to come down to taste. I loved the songwriting, the songs, performances, the emotion in it, the lyrics, all those things. I loved those elements of it. But at the same time, if this doesn't drag you in, I can feel how you would get to that point where it is a dip for you in that regard. But for me, I think that this is just a solid album that the remarkable thing about this sort of genre of music when these guys do it is that so much of this is tired, stale. It's been done before, all sorts of stuff. These guys do this music and they make you smile when you listen to it. And that's what I put this on. I'm fucking. The opening track, "Roses on Your Grave," is fucking fantastic. This opens and closes so strongly, it's not even funny. And just from there, I'm in. And I bought in from the outset. I loved this listen from start to finish. Put a smile on my face. I think the songs are great. Performance is fantastic. Eric is a vocalist, let alone a producer, is brilliant. And I think that if you're looking at melodic rock and you think, yeah, I'm not going to get into it, this is a band you've got to check out because there's a lot more dirt, grit, nastiness to this band than there is to a lot of the other ones that do this sort of music. This is not the... a lot of this stuff feels, Bon Jovi safe territory. This one has an edge to it, which is really nice, refreshing, and does something different for the genre overall. And I think these guys in Heat are leading the way still and have been for a few years now. I think this is a stunning release. I think it's really well done. It'll be a contender for a top 10 album. I don't know about top 3 because this is a massive fucking year, but it's a good fucking record for mine too. And I would like to see some of this played live because the hooks in the choruses are going to go off in that environment. You imagine if you can travel and go to Europe and see their songs played live in the venue over there, it's going to go nuts. It's going to be fucking so much fun. So I hope they come in.
I reckon I'll get sold live.
Yeah.
I reckon that would probably hook me in.
Yeah. You didn't see them at Melodic Rock Fest, did you, when they came out for that? No. See that? Yeah. See, one, they're great blokes. Eric is a fantastic bloke to start with, but they're fantastic live. There's something else. And these songs are really... If you feel the infectiousness of these ones and you listen to the record, live it's even more so, and their performance on stage is fucking brilliant. Dave, you'll attest to that as well. When we saw them live, it was
I didn't see them.
You missed it, did you? Oh, fuck.
I went to the first night, not the second night. Saw Vanity.
Okay. No, they were good. They were really, really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the funny thing about this one was the last track. I mentioned the opening track before, Rose on Your Grave, but the closing track, Dead Inside, has almost a Wasp feel at the start of it, which I thought was really, really cool for mine. And so it shows you how, they've made this whole what's old is new and fresh again. They have a really good knack of freshening things up. So it might be what most people out there think is a bit of a stale sort of vibe, but this one doesn't have that for me at all. I think it's just really fresh, vibrant, and stunning to listen to. Give it 9 out of 10. Roses on Your Grave, Bite the Bullet, and Saturday Night. That Saturday Night is just a fucking anthem at the moment. It's fucking huge. So well done to the guys on this record for mine. All right. Tuff said before when I got the spelling wrong, he said grammar is bullshit, needs to go on the bin. English is such a busted, fucked up language. So there we go. English is kind of fucked up, but it is what it is. He says Beast in Black is better though, Dave. So there we go. Dean says of this album though, of Eclipse, one of their best with Monumentum and Armageddon. I think Monumentum is pretty hard to fucking beat though. Eric is one of the hardest working singer-songwriters I've heard in 3 bands. The band is hot and I give it a 9.5. Nicely done there. Good, sir. But Jeff says, I found Eclipse to be generic and pedestrian, nothing special and vanilla. So Brendan, you're not alone. There you go. There are people this is the fun thing about music though. This is what it's all about. David has joined us. Good to see you here, guys. Fuckers, sorry I'm late. Thank you for joining us. Good to have your company, no matter when you join us. So it's great to have you here. And Nicole's gone, not my bag either. They're good at what they do, but not in my house. So there we go. Nicely put there. Dean says Dave's going to drink more after Brendan's review. And a question for Brendan from Lee, our good friend Lee, has gone, is it better than Night Flight Orchestra, Brendan?
Not better than the last Night Flight Orchestra album, but better than the one before that.
If that answers the question,
it sits
there we go.
The last 2 Night Flight Orchestra.
Sally's gone, I really like the song. They own their sound very comfortably, which is what they do wear this very well. I normally listen to this Euro metal in small doses. The vocalist has an exceptional voice, very powerful and pure of tone, not much raw and bloody, and I prefer a bit of gravel and blood though. I think the band is somewhat of a flagship of this type of metal. Fucking hell, fucking scroll button. Very clean sound. I enjoyed it. So well done there. Nicely sharing your thoughts. Thank you for that. Dean says Eric's voice gets better with every album he does with or without Eclipse. And so Dean's gone, what's the guitar setup you wanted to know, Dave? I'll look it up. So Dave, let us know there. I think it was the guitar.
Eclipse, whatever the lead guitars, whatever he's using, that'd be fucking
Magnus.
sweet,
Magnus Henriksson, the one there. Yeah. All right, so Tough's gone 2 PG for me. They are a Christian metal band. Fucking hell. I don't know if I go that far. But he's also gone, they're okay, I guess. Nat has joined us. So good to see you here. Nat's gone, these guys rock. It's a great album. So there we go there. And Jev's gone, I don't think if there were no other bands at all, Eclipse would still not be number one. Wow, okay, that's okay, cool. You're setting your conviction there. Dean says, the production style feels the same as Monumental for me. Amazing production for style, melodic hard rock. Metallica, our good friend on YouTube there, old school metal, you can't beat it. So there you go on that one as well. And he's been putting in, I'm not quite convinced of that one. Maybe he's referencing the style in general, but there we go. And Craig has jumped in a minute ago to say, hey guys, first time here, hello. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Love getting new people here. So thank you for jumping into the comments as well. And Dean said, definitely love live. This band will go off. Seen some of the live performances on YouTube and the deluxe version of Armageddon Nice. The crowd goes nuts for this band. Hope they come to Melbourne again. We'll be there with Dave at the front. So yes, I'll be there. I'll be at the back somewhere, but I'll be watching the fucking show for sure. All right, let's get on to the main event of the evening, and I'm going to have a bit of a not event, but I'll have a bit to say at the beginning of this before we get stuck into it. But the reference track is "Who Made Who" from the mighty AC/DC. That is what we are going to in a moment. Sorry, it's got a weird fucking notification. Here we go. Dave's got the cover coming up. So AC/DC. The reference track is "Who Made Who," and that's the title of the album for the headline of this evening. So without any further, this is AC/DC. "Who Made Who." 9 tracks, 38 minutes. This is a soundtrack album from the Australian band for the Stephen King film Maximum Overdrive, released in May 1986 via Atlantic Records and Albert Productions. It's a compilation. There are various producers from different albums on this one. One single was released in the title track, which is also one of the 3 new tracks on this one, the 2 others being instrumentals. The rest have been made up of tracks from Back in Black, Fly on the Wall, Dirty Deeds, and For Those by The Rock. The album was a success for the band, somewhat of a return for them too, for that matter. Doing well, peaked number 33 in the US, number 16 in the UK, number 30 here in Australia, also doing well in New Zealand and across Europe. It's been certified gold in the UK and Switzerland, platinum in Germany, and 5 times platinum in both the US and Australia. Before we get stuck into this one, Brendan, I'll throw to you first in a moment. This is the 35th anniversary of this album, and that's why it was in the list. So we have some comments in our THRS Lounge Facebook group we've got. They're going, Sean, if you're watching, he's gone, interesting you chose this album out of all the ones you could choose from AC/DC. Now, let's put this on the record. We put out the anniversary albums or albums that are celebrating milestones, so 20, 21, 25, 30, and 15 years, 10 years, whatever. There's a milestone to them, and we put the albums we've got into a list, and we send it to our Patreon supporters, who we do greatly appreciate, and they're the ones who get the vote on these releases. So we get a list of anniversary albums, we send it to the Patreon crew, and this is the one that got to the top voting this week, so that's why we're doing it. If you don't like it, please do support us. Jump into Patreon, give us a gold coin donation. That's all it takes. It's like $2 a month. Get into it and get your votes in and change the fucking plan. So there we go. This is our way of saying a little bit of thank you to the Patreon supporters to just give a bit of input on what we do on the show every single week. That said, Brendan, over to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't have chosen this either. It's really funny. It's obviously a long way from the echo. Oh, we're getting all kinds of echo here where I am.
I'm good. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Look, it's weird. I remember as a kid, this album, I know it's a Bitzer album, but it feels like one. And it doesn't say any track individually is particularly bad, but it doesn't have any flow, and it's sort of an odd thing. AC/DC albums always sort of have got a nice structure to them, simple but nice. They pick their track order pretty well. With this, just doesn't feel like that.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a funny. I don't know. It's a soundtrack album, and that's cool. Yeah, it's all good, but Who Made Who's great. Actually, the 3 original tracks kind of stand out on it. It doesn't make it the best tracks on the album, but the only reason I would buy this album is really for Who Made Who and DT. Because I've got the rest of the stuff. DT is a great instrumental track. I've always loved it. Loved it as a kid. Love it now. Simple, balls out rock and roll. But as an AC/DC album, it's almost not an album. I mean, I know they've never done a greatest hits, but this was kind of a. It wasn't even that. I don't even know what the hell you call it.
I think Iron Man 2 would be the closest one.
Yeah, but even then, like, I mean, making an AC/DC greatest hits album now would be a challenge in itself.
Good
probably
luck.
an episode in that.
There's a hot topic in that for sure. Make your AC/DC greatest hits album. We should do that one.
Yeah, try and pick 15 of your best with no honorable mentions. Good luck.
Yeah, 15 hard cut. Yep.
Yeah, it's but it's still great. It's still great. There's not a bad track on it. Like Ride On doesn't fit because it's a Bon Scott song. It's with all the others. Great song. It's just the album doesn't flow. Because if you're an AC/DC fan, if you knew all the material beforehand, listening to this really does sound like AC/DC playlist on shuffle.
Okay. Yep.
So it's just kind of a bit odd as an album, but that's not to say it's a bad track, not to say it's shit. So we'll give it 8 out of 10, and we'll say DT's the highlight because that's the original track that I still love, and get on with it.
Nice. All right. Okay. Cool. Dave, let's go to you next. You did the AC/DC a little while ago.
What?
This is one of the first CDs I ever got, and then I got the boombox a few years later, so I got 2 copies. As mentioned, AC/DC never really did compilations or best ofs. I mean, with the exception of the Iron Man 2 soundtrack, every AC/DC fan already has these songs. I've already heard them, but it's amazing how often I actually get this album out. It's just convenient and handy. They're a good collection of tracks, and that's what makes this an easy listen. You basically come for Who Made Who, which is a fucking banger of a track, and then they follow it with You Shook Me All Night Long, and it just drags you in, and I like the track flow. I think it's fantastic. It just delivers some fun AC/DC songs. No, it's not as good as an actual album with their thought-out track listing, but the songs are just, I know that song. You're not going to turn it off once it's on. Yeah. You go, like I said, you come for Who Made Who, you stay for the rest of the album. And I thought Ride On was a nice addition. It's the only track from Bon Scott, and it's just so different from the others. It's a nice little breaking point. And because it is Ride On, and because Bon Scott isn't with us, he hasn't been with us for a very long time, and even as a kid, it just gives you that bit of reflection in the set. And I thought that was cool. I thought that was a nice inclusion that, 88 this came out? Or 86. 86, 6 years on, and he's not forgotten. They're going to include him in whatever they do, and that's important. And the 2 instrumental tracks are fun, and I honestly think I've seen Maximum Overdrive a few too many times, because when I hear the instrumentals, especially DT, I can picture what's happening in the movie. I know a lot of people kind of try and forget that movie, but I thought it was cool. I'm a big Stephen King fan. He tries to forget the movie. It's good.
That movie. It's a good movie.
Fun late night drunk entertainment. Killer Truck. Yeah. It's fucking good. His son, Joe Hill, wants to do a remake, apparently. So,
oh, wow.
It'll be interesting. That's last year, so we'll see what comes to that. It's interesting and possibly lucky they didn't release it as a Maximum Overdrive album soundtrack. They kept the AC/DC name. We all know it's tied in with the movie, but it's named Maximum Overdrive soundtrack forgotten. They put it out, put their name to it, and movie fun collection of songs. I gave it 8 out of 10. I can't pick standouts. Who Made Who's fucking great, and it's good to have. If you get the single, and it's on one of the recent compilations, but there's the 7-inch single is an extended version of Who Made Who, which is interesting. How they there's a bit more of an intro and a bit of a midsection. So for the diehard fans, it's worth checking down. Sure, it's on YouTube, but can't remember. I think the fucking amp box that came, and it's got a whole bunch of extra CD songs in it. Yeah, it's on that. But I can't pick it out. It's AC/DC. It's always good.
Cool. All right, Tim, over to you.
I could go either way on this one. I can understand both points of view because it is a good collection of songs, and I think it is a good how would you put it? It's a good little AC/DC sampler pack. It's certainly not a greatest hits album.
No.
But it's a little sampler pack. It's a market research. If you were to go, okay, that's a rough idea of AC/DC, you hand them this, and it's interesting. And I mean, I think Who Made Who and DT for me are the standouts of this. But at the same time, I do understand it does kind of feel like there's the 3 original tracks, and then the rest are almost like I don't want to say B-sides, but when you buy a single and you get your add-on tracks, it does kind of feel like that a little bit. But obviously they're better songs than most B-sides. But like I understand both kind of arguments with it. But I mean, for what it is, I think it's a good listen. I mean, if it's a good AC/DC kind of sampler, as I said before. So for however long this is, keeps you entertained, does its job, 7.5 out of 10, Who Made Who and DT.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. It's pretty uniform across the board. I think that, when it comes to AC/DC, we're all going to go to different albums before this one. And that's as fans of the band. But that said, I think this is a pretty good little collection of songs. I liked how you had Right On followed by Back in Black on this one. That 1-2 punch in the moment was a really, if you know the history of the band, that was kind of fitting in its own little way in the middle of the album there. I liked the instrumentals in this one. I think DT is the better of the two by probably a fair margin, to be honest, but I do like them there. But I think that, just as a collection of songs, for a band that doesn't do greatest hits collections, like that Hot Topic idea is going to be a good one. We should do that relatively soon, I think. Try and find your best 15 AC/DC songs and hard cut. But this, if you're relatively new to the band or you hadn't discovered them by the time this came out, this is a good little cross-section. Is it anything new, original, riveting? No. And that's where it falls down, because you've heard the songs before. If you know the band, by the time this comes out, you got, Who Made Who and a couple of original instrumental pieces of music, and the rest is what it is. Got varying production values from different eras. You got that plate reverb, which fucking drove me nuts from Fly on the Wall on this one, which fucking irks the shit out of me. Even on this, I just cannot get my head around it. But apart from that, I thought the album flow was relatively okay. Different band members and performances, all those things, it all seemed to sort of click and work for them. And, I think they did a better job with the Iron Man 2 soundtrack years later, but that is a good couple of decades later, so they had more time to get things right in this regard. I think what this was, for putting this to a soundtrack like it is for the movie Maximum Overdrive, it's a pretty good product for what it is overall. It's not, going to tear the walls down, but at the same time, it did enough, because the video clip for Who Made Who when that came out was fucking monstrous as well. That was massive. And that gave the band a shot in the arm to get them through again, which gave everyone a chance to check out this album, this band, one more time and find some things they'd missed. So for what it was meant to do, it did the job. Is it a fucking fantastic all-time album? No, because it's a collection of songs that don't quite gel, although I do think the flow is pretty good overall. The way they put the instrumentals in sort of the first third and the last third to, balance it out was not a bad trick. But, your standout tracks are going to be your favorite tracks that you know and love anyway. So for what it is, I think it's very, very good. It's a good album. I think it opens and closes really strongly. I mean, the last track being, for those about to rock, that's a good way to close out any album. It doesn't matter what you put it on. That's going to be solid anyway. So I think that does well. But, yeah, I did like the touch of having Bond's Ride On in the middle of the album. I did really enjoy that aspect of it as well. So for what it's worth, it's a lot of fun. It's a good little album. It's a half-hour listen that, takes you back through the albums you know and love from the band. And if you're not a fan already, this is one that's going to give you a good little cross-section of what the band is all about at this time in the mid-'80s. So I think it's well done. 8 out of 10 from me, which is pretty universal across the board for us here tonight. Who Made Who, Right On, and Hell's Bells. Mostly you that 1-2 punch, like I was saying in the middle, though. If I was going to pick the instrumentals, DT would be the one that I would leap to in that regard there. Quickly back to the comments here, which we've got a few here on this one. Nude says, catch you guys. You're about to kick off on Channel 44. We should have started 4 minutes ago, so thank you for joining us for the time you were here tonight. If you're bored of us, go and switch over to Channel 44 in Adelaide because we're on TV over there doing a clip show. What do we got here? So Craig has jumped in for the first time tonight. Says, wow, I'm a big AC/DC fan, so hopefully you're enjoying this review tonight. He also says, I loved Angus's solo stuff in the actual movie. That's a bit of a different case in point there as well. Dean says, this was a return for them after 2 previous albums. Jesus, he's abbreviated. What was that?
Flick of the switch.
What day is it?
There we go. Cool. We'll go with that. Stephen King always one of his favorite bands to do the soundtrack at Malcolm and Angus thought, why not? Which is cool. Tom Tough said, AC/DC, Who Made Who song has stumped all great minds from all areas of education to philosophy to religion to great song to listen to and stoned. Yes, that's true. But it's a great, lyrically, really interesting song, that one. That song alone is worth the price of entry on the record. So Sally says, make up your own album is a good idea for a lot of bands, so we should probably start compiling some hot topics in that regard. Jeff has gone, may I ask how old the hosts are, because an album came out in 1986, was cool at the time, but it wore off very quickly. Aside from the title track and a couple of songs, I wouldn't put it on as a whole listen. So the three of us are in our 40s, but Tim, are you in your 30s yet?
I am 30.
Okay. So to give you a breakdown there, Jeff, that's what it is. But I think it Brendan, you're the oldest of us here tonight. Do you remember much when this? Hey?
I'm 22.
You're 20. Fucking hell. You're going to get carded at the next gig you go to, mate. You know that, right?
I only hope.
Look, I remember the video when it came out and it was huge. I'm sure Dave's the same as me in that regard because we're very close to each other. What about you, Brendan? Do you have any memories of when it actually came out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was that was right. It was right when I started getting into AC/DC, and that was kind of the. I think it must have been just after. So, because I remember sort of, and they had, as we all did at the time, we had taped copies of everything. Yeah. So, first one I ever had, I remember quite vividly, was TNT, and then I had Dirty Dudes, and then I had Back in Black, and then I remember getting Who Made Who, and really looking forward to it, and then just going, what the fuck, I've got all these songs already. And as a child thinking that. So it's probably scarred me for life.
That's Rose Tattoo.
Yeah. But, so that was kind of thing. But like I said, Who Made Who, the video clip particularly, because it was in that huge sort of wave of videos taken off, and it was a change, and it's a fucking great video. It stands up really well, even if you watch it now. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It was great. But Who Made Who's a great song. But it's almost like a single apart from the albums.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It does stand out. Dean, he's going to do the hot topic sometime, trying to pick your 15 or 20 greatest tracks from AC/DC greatest hits. Good luck. And he's gone, the only greatest hits they will do was the Iron Man 2 soundtrack. Sold a shitload for that lot. So there we go. Sally's gone, my favorite 3 songs from AC/DC are Bon Scott because he's fucking great. So that's another debate for another time. Conrad says it turned a whole generation to checking out and listening to AC/DC. I think that's where Dave and I probably fall into more that category out of the videos here tonight. Because when that came out, that was huge. I don't know about you, but for me, it was fucking. When that came out, that video was insane, wasn't it, Dave?
Yeah, it was everywhere.
Every weekend it was played, just without fail. Sumalet says, I haven't heard this album, but when a friend loaned me his Back in Black cassette as we were sitting at the back of a math class in the 80s, that was the moment I switched from pop to rock metal, which is a great way to do it. So well done there. If you're going to do it that way, that's always good. But then Conrad says, I discovered AC/DC because of this record when it came out. And that's where I think the charm of this album comes in, because you can see how this would hook people that hadn't found it before into this band because of the cross-section of songs there. Dean says, Stephen King wanted instrumentals for the movie. Malcolm and Angus just gave him the 2 tracks just to put in, but apparently Malcolm was working on them for a further album with lyrics and a bit of change to the songs to what it was. Okay. It'd be interesting to see what they would have done with that with a bit more time involved, but there we go. Craig says, Who Made Who? The song is solid. The main riff Malcolm plays is simple, but how he plays it, the rhythm is excellent, typical Mal. And that's the thing with Mal in general. Like, Malcolm Young is one of the greatest all-time rhythm players, and his riff work is just fucking wow. Like, good luck. I think the only person that comes close is Hetfield for me.
Yeah.
You guys got any other standout rhythm players in your mind that just jump out at you straight away, apart from those 2?
They're my 2 heroes, so we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably be about right.
Yeah. Cool. That's actually one of the rare times we agree that strongly on things. Fucking hell. There we go. That's the night done. We'll wrap it up there. We'll get out of here and agree with everyone. So Dean says it was the right climb at the right time for them to get up again when it followed with the Razor's Edge coming after was fucking.
Yeah.
Didn't Bloody Video come afterwards, though?
Bloody Video, yeah, but then Razor's Edge when, that was...
except Razor's Edge was good and Bloody Video wasn't.
Yeah, and that's the different... We tend to gloss over that one.
Now, Blood Video's got some good tracks on it, but it's nowhere near as good as Razor's Edge. Come on.
Razor's Edge is fucking one of the greatest. Like, that's fucking so good.
Yeah.
It's probably my second or third favorite album from the band. Like, it's fucking nuts. What do we got here? Everyone's going here. So Dean's gone, Tim's 30, here comes the backaches and the fuck knees. Mate, we're all feeling that today. So, contentious. Lee's gone, AC/DC do nothing for me with Brian on vocals. Blasphemous, I know.
Oof. Well, I'm not the biggest AC/DC fan myself.
No. That's fair
so,
enough.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all down to taste. Right? It's just music.
That's it. That's the fun part of it all. Stephen on Facebook's jumped in to say hello to us. So good to have you here with us. He's gone, what stands out in the title track, Who Made Who, is the chord structure and the use of the C in the verse is unique for AC/DC. That's true too. They always found a way to make things a bit different with the way they wrote the songs. That's, again, Malcolm Young's work for mine. So Jeff's gone, when the video came out, I was 17. You do the maths. It was cool then, but there's so much more to offer. So, yeah, and this is a thing too. This is a good little cross-section, but this is by far and away not their best deep cuts kind of collection either. So, make of that what you will. There's so much more to this band and this album. Dean says, it was my second AC/DC album. I heard it on cassette. My dad played it. Very memorable times to listen to a band that you'll learn to love. So there we go there. And that's the thing too about sharing it from generation from one to the next is a nice little nod there too. Ernie on Facebook, thank you for joining us tonight. He's gone, Who Made Who was my introduction to AC/DC when I was a kid going through my brother's tape collections. So there we go. It seems to be a common theme for a lot of people tonight, which is great, which means it did its job. Dean said, Malcolm was the band for me. Greatest rhythm guitarist of all time. No Malcolm, no AC/DC. Okay, there we go there. Ernie also said, AC/DC were the first band I really got into when I was young. They are like a gateway drug to rock and metal, which is very true for a lot of people, I think, as well. Tuff says, it's all that maintenance when you get a reach 40. My bad leg is my good leg. Well, mate, we've all got stories to tell. And then Dean says, Blow Up Video had a few great tracks, Heat Seeker, and That's the Way I Want to Rock and Roll. But yes, Brendan, it was Blow Up Video after Who Made Who. My apologies. So there we go on that one. So we're...
I know something.
Yes.
Even after I said it, I went, shit, am I right?
You were pretty safe there, mate. Leo over on YouTube, thank you for joining us tonight. New comment just come through, so first time to see you here. Thank you for joining us. Eclipse new album is solid. Yes, we've all enjoyed it aside from Brendan, so go back and watch that one when you get through to it. And Stephen Marcus said Izzy went okay too. I'm not quite sure if that's what applies.
Rhythm guitarist, Izzy Stradlin.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, probably.
Right. My mind, I'm trying to follow all the comments that come through, and it's like, fucking, where am I going with this one? Yeah, not bad at all. David says, watching you on 44 now in Adelaide, fucking love it. Mist of Ages, nice, well done. Jesus, okay. Craig's gone, Fly on the Wall. There's so many great songs, just poorly produced. That's a problem with Fly on the Wall. Fly on the Wall, yeah, the production shit on Fly on the Wall. I do have to say that about them. That was like the first time that Malcolm and Angus took over production. Was like, oh, no, don't do that. But anyway, Tuff says I was listening to more thrash music to notice AC/DC, so there we go. Dean says, have we done a hot topic of Bon and Brian? No, we haven't. That would be painful and interesting at the same time. Let's not.
If you were to do an AC/DC greatest hits, like if they were to release one, that's how they'd release it. You'd have one disc of Bon and one disc of Brian.
Yeah. That's what I'd like to see him do anyway. But we'll.
It's the only way you could do it.
Yeah, you'd have the legacy of both vocalists can't be denied, as far as I'm concerned. But
they've gone for a pee break, as if he has, I want to as well.
I don't know. He disappeared for a second. We're going to get to the bin in a moment, but Brendan's going to rock off and do what he's doing. So, Tim, it's just you and I. Here we go. But it's fitting because David's gone, love Amyl and Sniffers, and you and I both loved their work recently. So.
They're a fantastic album, fantastic band. I want to play with them, really, for real.
Okay, cool. That would be awesome, man. Because I reckon that'd work actually between you two guys. That'd work pretty well.
Orange and Amyl would be a fucking great gig.
That'd kill. That would fucking slay. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, Jason. No. Anyone who's who. If you haven't heard the new album, the Sniffers album, you should check it out. particularly if you like three-chord punk.
Yes, and Dave, did you check out the Amyl and Sniffers album?
Yes, I like that one.
You like that?
Really?
One? Okay, cool.
We did that review a couple of weeks ago. I like it.
See, if even Dave likes Amyl and Sniffers, that's proof.
I'm not a big. Yeah, that's got some great delivery, great energy. What's not to like about it? The songs are good. Good band.
I don't know. Punk albums, you're a bit 50-50.
Yeah.
So, man, you can't fault it.
Yeah. If it's done well and the anger's got a direction and a purpose, then I can do it. If it's just anger for no blind reason, doesn't get.
Yep. Well, Brendan, you didn't get to give us your review on Amyl, but I know you love the album. So what do you think of Amyl and the Sniffers' latest one, Comfort to Me?
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Punk music done properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know. Because I mean I get such a early Misfits thing from the music, but but it's so intrinsically Australian lyrically and historically that it's just bizarre. I just love it. Love it.
It throws me back to the bands that you hear growing up. A lot all the bands were punk, but it's just got that Aussie sound and that Aussie feel.
Yeah.
It's
real don't give a fuck that you can't. If you try to replicate it, it's just something that's really, really hard to do. Like you either get it or you don't, and they just got it in spades. And it's a lot of it would be Amy as well, because I mean she writes all her own lyrics and stuff, and we'll call it vocal melody if that's indeed what she's doing. But it's just
she's interesting.
She's mental. I fucking love it.
It's funny because when you were away before, Tim said he'd love to play with Amyl. And I was thinking before that a great gig, a great night out would be you guys opening, and then you get Private Function mid-card, Amyl and the Sniffers to close. That'd be a fucking perfect night, I reckon.
In a heartbeat.
I want to play with Amyl. I want to play with Private Function. I want to play with the Hard-Ons. I want to play with fucking everyone.
Yeah.
I want to play with Steel Panther too. Can we make that happen?
Yeah.
Just while we're throwing shit out there. Some more comments here quickly. What else we got? Hang on 1 second. Fucking hell. So that's where Dave's gone. Dave's not here, man. So Dave sort of was here, then went away, and then came.
Dave's not here, man.
Yeah. Sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. Jesus, here we go. Let's go on. Who's the best between Bon and Brian? Floor. It's like, okay. Yeah. Good luck with that argument. I think you're on your own there, buddy. Tough says, bands need to follow AC/DC and play in the back of a truck. That rocked. Yeah. I don't think you get away with it anymore, but that was pretty cool back in the day. Dean says they did that for Plug Me In, the one disc for Bon, the one disc for Brian. So that was true. Yeah. I forgot that one. Jeff says the problem with dividing up AC/DC into best singers on different albums, it would probably a lopsided affair, and therefore the record company wouldn't want to be into that. The only way to do it is mixed, and that's true as well. Tough says, imagine instead of protest bands got on back of trucks and we all followed them as part of our daily exercise. So that's a way of getting around the restrictions at the moment.
We floated the idea once upon a time. We're going to don't think we're actually going to do it, but get a flatbed truck and park it out of Triple M Studios on the street there in South Melbourne and just start playing.
Yeah. There was a lot of chat about that stuff. Yeah.
I think until we get arrested just to make the news. That was the whole point.
Yeah, that was the point. Just because you'll get the headlines out of it. That's all it needs to be. Any publicity is good publicity. Yeah. Sally says, I remember some comparison of Brian and Bon because Den said Bon was a wolf. In the end, he was better. Am I dreaming this? We did the AC/DC special a number of years ago, and I forget who said what in the end. Now, Dave, you were there for that one, weren't you? That was...
I don't remember what anyone said.
It's part of the course. It was a good night. It was a really good night. A long night too. There was a lot of things that. I sorry, I can't recall right now, Sally, but I can try and dig it up at some point. But yeah, there is a pretty divided line between the vocalists in general, in that regard as an observation. Leo said about Eclipse, the new album is solid, yeah, but it's starting to sound a bit generic. Has Eclipse been discussed? We had discussed it. Brendan gave it a 5, and the rest of us gave it a 9 or a 9.5. So make of that what you will there, Leo. And Cheyenne, I believe you're talking about the the Amyl and the Sivers album at this point in time when you said it's an addictive album. I believe that's what you're referring to there. If I'm wrong, then please correct me. And David on Facebook watching us on TV at the same time. It's weird watching you in double doses. So you're getting two completely different ends of the spectrum there. And he's also said a few minutes ago he's watching Iron Maiden Writing on the Wall, which is what Brendan picked a couple of weeks ago as we film things now. So Craig's gone. Great live, guys. We're back. Cheers. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are getting out of here very, very shortly. Lee says, Amyl and Sivers has done well in the UK charts. Amy as Magnetic Live, a sassy bitch. I love her spark. She's got a great attitude about her. It just seems like a lot of, it'd be fun to see that live. I reckon it'd just be that kind of right kind of crazy to go and watch live. So anyway.
You know she's got a problem. We like it.
That's what we all love. That's what we're all here for, isn't it? So we do in that regard. All right. Time to get out of here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. David has gone, love your work as always. Thank you for joining us as well. And to everyone here tonight, thank you for tuning in and spending some time with us and getting in the comments and that sort of stuff. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, all those things. Even if you're watching later on, not live or tuning in via audio, we do appreciate your time. We love doing this stuff. We like getting interaction. So please feel free to give us your comments, even if you're not here with us in the moment as we do these ones. But yeah, every sort of Monday and Thursday we stream. We're also on television every Thursday night on Channel 44 in Adelaide at 10 p.m. Australian Central Time, and then 10:30 p.m. Saturday nights Australian Eastern Time on Channel 31. And that's our usual schedule. Our next special episode at the end of this month is to do with Slipknot for our special episode for Halloween. I know, Dave, you're sitting out for Slipknot because you're not a huge fan, but I do want to try and get you involved for the Murder Dolls review for that one if we can. We'll do that in a couple of weeks. We'll film some stuff tomorrow night as well. We've got some things coming up. And then our November special is Motley Crue, and then we're into Christmas season, which is going to be fucking nuts. So stick around for more information to come on those ones as the weeks go through. But that brings us to the, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, like I was saying. Details for us are in the description or the post. Make sure you hit whatever social media platform you prefer to follow us on. And a big thank you to our fantastic sponsors as well in Squidding, Screen Printing, Old Colt, and Rockstar Finance. Their details, just like ours, are in the description or the post of this one. So please do find them. Give them a follow as well, because we do appreciate their support here for what we do at the show. A big special shout out to our fantastic Patreon supporters in Tim Caterson, Lee McDonald, Sonny Donabella, 16x9, Beck Mitchell, Carolyn Mallet, Jason Winch, Marty Powell, Sam Biondo, Trash Vegas, Andrew Heyman, Brendan, you're included in this one, Daniel Bateman, Gwyneth Richards, and a new one in the Mann family, which has just jumped in on YouTube to say the Bond versus Brian side could be 100 shows, but as long as Rock is relevant, we are the better for it, which is absolutely true. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for your support on the Patreon side of things as well. And if you want to join us, the simplest way to do it, the link is in the description. Follow us on Patreon. The biggest thing we're pushing right now is just like the $2 donation a month kind of thing. So jump in that, get on the votes for the weekly specials of the classic album reviews that we do. And that's, you'll get a whole lot of stuff. We could do send you something like 50 new songs a week through that platform, as well as a lot of stuff to go through and dig into in that regard. Got some final comments here in a second, but before we get to all those things, let's go to our favorite part of the night, which is the bin. So Tim, you got to double dip tonight. What is your bin for this evening?
Just blind rage about things. So recently, there's some controversy around a particular artist, and I feel like there's a lot of blind rage around it from people attacking it and people defending it, because there's a lot of people missing the point. And I think it's just important, especially in these times, to remember that you don't need to have an opinion on absolutely everything. Yeah. And if you do have an opinion on something, make sure you know what you're talking about.
Yep. Good luck enforcing that one, but it's a good point of view.
I'm going to need to see your know what you're talking about card before you can.
I'm going to ask you to elaborate as soon as we switch this off.
Yeah. There'll be a long conversation behind the scenes after this goes off of live for that one, I'm sure. Dave, what about you?
Yeah, I got two. And I hinted at one earlier. No, I got two. When you mentioned the orchestra. Now, I've been listening to the Eclipse album quite a lot. Some of it through the Hard Rock current review, current listening. So that goes into AC/DC. Going straight to the album finishes, and Spotify plays a random song. And they played the Night Flight fucking orchestra. I don't know why they chose to pick it, because you can tell the actual difference between good and shit. So like, I got to fucking throw my phone across the room. I don't using Night Flight orchestra because those bands are world apart. And secondly, I'm throwing myself in the bin because apparently I cheated during a game of hide and seek with my kids earlier today. Now, I was using psychology and I was shifting where I was hiding. So when they looked somewhere, I went and hid there. But apparently, you can't do that. And they went and cried. They're like, hey, Daddy's cheating. He's hiding. Like, you can't do that. So like, fine, I'll Google it. And I Google it. Apparently, there are rules to hide and seek.
Oh, wow.
I cheated. It was wrong. I'm putting myself in the bin.
That's got to be a first, man. We've never had that. Rules. Okay. Nicely done. All right, Brendan, what about you?
I'm going to throw the AFL trade period into the bin.
Yeah, here we go.
Fucking a bunch of fucking overpaid, pretentious wankers arguing about whether or not your third string ruckman is worth pick 42 or pick 47 in the draft and not come to some conclusion. The draft period should take 2 hours.
Yep.
That's it. 2 hours. Get fucking one representative for each team with half a fucking brain. Get in there and sort it out. And the media that goes on with it's the biggest fucking pile of shit.
Yeah.
Ever fucking put together. Man, everyone that follows the AFL trade period is now dumber for having done so. So in the bin.
See, that's
Matt Rendell. Sorry, Dave?
That's probably the reason why I don't follow football, because of all the bullshit talk around it. Watching a game is not that bad. I watch the ones occasionally with my kids, but all the bullshit that goes around it, like, fuck, you're boring the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Kids trading.
My favorite is like, like 4 p.m. of the last day, and it's like pick 87 traded for pick 86.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Just 2 weeks well spent.
Yeah. It's a joke. And Matt Rendell on that matter can get in the fucking bin. That dickhead. I don't know what the fuck he's even doing anywhere near commentating on this sort of stuff. And I'm glad he got the sack from Collingwood. The AFL media in general can go on the bin because even though like an hour after trade period finished, there was like an article about the trio from the Pies, the Dogs, and something else. There's fucking contracts for next year. It's like, fucking really? You just finished trade period for this year. An hour later, you got something for next year lined up already. Really? Fuck off. Take your clickbait. Fuck off in there. The other one for me as a general thing, though, is the release cycle. I'm going to put that in the bin because I'm going through like 50 new songs a week with the Patreon stuff. And then you work out that some weeks, like this week, tomorrow's release list, there's good stuff in there, but you've got a week which is like what tomorrow is, and you've got other weeks like last week where it's like fucking half of it is stuff you want to hear. So just try and stagger things out a bit more, suitable for the consumer would be a bit more appreciated, I think, from a lot of us, not just us here, but I think a lot of people in general, because it's fucking nuts you get a really busy fucking week or two and then it's like quiet for the next week or two. And it's like, just stagger it. Makes more sense all around. But hey, what do we know? Anyway, that can go in the bin for mine tonight. Anyway, all righty. Got some quick comments here before we get out of here. What do we got here? So, Jesus. Okay, cool. Metallian said, great show, guys. Looking forward to Saturday night. So thank you for tuning in with us. There is going to drink up and rock on. So it's tough. Drink up, rock on. Don't shave your pubes. Okay. Whatever floats your boat there. Jeff's gone. Ciao, lads. Great as always. Thank you for joining us tonight. Ernie, I agree. A lot of people rent an opinion. That's a different thing entirely. That is very true. Jeff says, yes, Tim, but Nicki Minaj is cool. What are you talking about? So I think that's to do with the divisive artist there for a minute. Leo has said, you guys need to check out that Shaft of Steel. What an album. Totally underrated AOR metal band. Okay, we'll have to look that up for sure. And Metallic. Sorry?
Shaft of Steel?
I know, right? I mean, we think Steel Panther is interesting. This could be cool.
Shaft of Steel followed by the bell end of chrome.
Metallic says, I remember buying TNT in, would you believe, Safeways at Westfield, Southland on vinyl for $10. Fucking hell. Okay, well done there. Conrad. Sorry?
If you've still got that, it's worth a few bucks now.
It would be by now, yeah. Conrad said, I respond back to your email. Yes, I got it, and I will give you a call as soon as I can. My schedule is a bit all over the joint at the moment, but we are at least getting the conversation started, which is the hardest part with me, believe me. Once we get it started, it's okay. Dean says, yes, finally someone agrees about the AFL trade period. It's pretty fucking drawn out. It doesn't need to be as long as it is. Lee says, footy is over and still dominating the news cycle. What the fuck? Which is probably how we all feel at this point in time.
That's quite deliberate, of course.
It is, of course.
They're trying to make it a 12-month thing.
Yeah, which is kind of pointless, but hey, what do you do? Dean says, followed the AFL trade period all through it, and some of it was a train wreck, especially some that were going to happen in the last couple of days, yet it folds with the hype surrounding it. Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah, it was just very, very silly at the end of the day. And Metallian then says, then years later went to Brash's and bought Judas Priest, British Steel, and Black Sabbath Greatest Hits 79 vinyl great metal days. Fucking hell, well done. You have got a nose for it.
Good. Stole a couple of albums.
What? We are live, Dave. Remember that. Not now. Brashers are dead. Lee said, still catching up with Ministry's latest, a stellar industrial release. And Tim, you and I both loved the latest from Ministry. That was fucking cracker, that album. Really good. Sally's gone, thanks, guys. So thank you for joining us tonight. Tough has gone, YouTube ad telling me how to have me nuts in the bin, or how to shave my nuts in the bin, I believe that is. Yeah, good luck with that. Have the Manscaped or whatever it is that's going out there. Beck's gone, cheers. Thank you for joining us tonight. Beck, good to have you here as well. Tough in reply has gone, leave my afro alone. Fuck, no matter how great they are, lol. All right, I'm going to leave that one alone. And Dan Newton, thank you for joining us tonight. He's gone, media should abandon the footy, take up coverage of hide and seek in the Metal Life household. So there we go. It'd be more entertaining as well, I'm pretty sure. And Dean, to close out, I think trade radio is bad. Wait till the draft happens next month with the media surrounding that. Yeah, and that's what's going to be the problem with it all as well. But here we go. Different topic for another time. And the basketball season is almost upon us as well. So if you're tuning in late, let us know who the basketball team in the US you follow is. Brendan, you are?
Celtics.
Tim, do you have one? You don't?
No.
No. Brendan, you don't either, do you? Sorry, Dave. Sorry.
You shocked?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just no. So I'm a follower of the Nuggets. Big fan of the Nuggets. So
what was that?
I do like Nuggets.
Nuggets are good.
Nuggets, so I don't eat them because I don't know what they're going to do to me. I don't
know it's in them.
In them, I just know they're tasty.
I mean, don't get me. I mean, KFC like 11 secret hiding, like 11 secret. Like, why are they secret? What's this fucker hiding? I want to know.
There's 11 secret herbs and spices, and all of them are MSG.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think 10 are MSG, the other one's salt.
Yeah. Dean's gone to say Boston through and through.
Hey.
There you go. But Jeff's gone, fuck basketball, ice hockey forever. Okay, so does anyone of us have an ice hockey team?
Yes.
Okay. Who?
Vegas Golden Knights.
Okay. Anyone else?
I don't, but ice hockey is pretty cool. It's like cross country. Like,
get on Vegas because we might end up in Vegas one day, and that's an excuse to go to something and get shit for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because everyone's coming to Vegas for my 50th, yeah, I think.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
You paying, man?
Sure.
That includes you.
For me, yeah.
It depends on how far away your 50th is.
4 years. 4 years.
Said he was
actually, no. If you're serious about that, I will make time for it.
Yes, I am serious about that. 4 years, we're going to Vegas, we're getting fucked up.
I'm looking forward to that.
Time it up with Double or Nothing because that'll be in Vegas.
Yeah. Got your strippers there, mate. You were talking about strippers now. Wait till we get to Vegas, baby.
Yeah. For me, for the ice hockey, it's the Calgary Flames. That's my team of choice.
Really?
So, yeah.
You know, I actually I have is a distant relative who played for Montreal Canadiens.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not alone.
I thought you would have been New Jersey Devils, Tim.
I do know something about the Devils. You'll see me in the garden with like a big D painted on my chest.
Yes, exactly. For that reason alone, I thought you would have been a Devils fan.
Tough's gone, don't look over the McNuggets, it will haunt you. Jeff in response has gone Detroit Red Wings or Edmonton Oilers, so there we go in that one. Sumalo says, I think I found a bug on YouTube. It says that THRS is still on. Yeah, we're still here, believe it or not. Dean says the Knights also, so there we go. There's one.
Fuck? You mean Dean go for all the same teams?
Hang on. Because Lee says Calgary Flames. So I'm not the only one for the Calgary. So there we go. I'm happier with this one. And then Jeff also says in trivia of the day, basketball was invented by a Canadian. Dean says, poor Dave while we talk sport. So that's in that regard.
That's true. Basketball wasn't invented by a Canadian, but the rules of basketball were first put down in Kansas City.
There you go.
Dropping some knowledge.
Yeah. Well, we all know how much I follow the Kansas City team, so yes.
Cowboys are playing.
Yeah, so the actual official rules that were still written down are still in the University of Kansas.
Fuck. Okay. Cool.
Cowboys would be undefeated if that fucker could kick.
Yeah.
I know your kicker fucked that up for you. That's the only reason why that didn't go through.
He's done very well since. So
he has done well since. But the only thing going for right for us is the kicker at the moment. So,
when your kicker is your best player, there's a problem.
That's not a good sign.
No. Well, the thing is, he's not. He's just the most reliable overall because he's the one you can count on to get things fucking done. But anyway, fuck. Bashar says, enjoyable show, boys. We're giving Eclipse to listen, Bond Scott forever. So thank you for joining us tonight. Tough says the women that play hockey are very attractive. So there we go. There's that one there. Darren says, big THRS fan and a crew tour of Vegas in 4 years. We'll have to make sure we take the cameras. This is going to be fucking wild, man. You know that, right?
Let's do it.
It's going to be wild. Dean says NFL teams because he's the 49ers. Let's do the rounds. NFL teams, who we got? You guys don't have a particular team? No. So you're Cowboys, aren't you, Brendan?
Yep, Cowboys.
I'm on the Chiefs and have been since Montana was the quarterback. So there you go. I'm not a blow-in from recently. It's been a long, hard slog being a Chiefs supporter from way back when. And Jeff says, I used to be a goalie, once got knocked out by a slap shot to the face, had a mask on, happy days. Wow, lucky.
See,
damn.
Cool, it's violent.
To which Dean says, poor Dave again, because talking about sports. And Nicole, I'm going to say 49ers. So commiserations kind of for the other year, but I'm kind of going to take it at the same time because it was 50 years between drinks for us. So
Dave, have you watched the movie Goon?
No.
It's on Netflix. You should.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Really ultra-violent ice hockey movie with Stifler in it. It's really good. I couldn't recommend it more highly. It is a masterpiece.
You got to arm the floors with steel chairs, man, and get another 2 goalposts on the sides. So you got 14 people
Oh, okay. Cool.
Well,
Dean said, I'll watch that actually. So there we go there. And Jeff has also, there is a saying in Canada, went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. So that's what we do in that regard. Look, we're going to be here all night. So let's get out of here while we can. We've got a little bit of a moment here to do so. Thank you all for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute blast as always. And thank you to you guys for taking the time on a Thursday to stick around and do this for a few hours. Hopefully everyone's had a great night. Thank you, and make sure you look after yourselves until next time. Until then, though, which will be Monday night in theory, I'm Andrew.
Brendan.
I'm Dave.
Tim.
As always, you know what to do.
Drink up.
Rock on.